Okay. And now let's discuss this subject matter, which is called the relationships with Krishna. Revive, maintain, improve.
तो टॉपिक का नाम है कृष्ण के साथ जो संबंध है उसके बारे में आज प्रभु जी हमें एनलाइटन करेंगे और हमें समझाएंगे कि कैसे हम हमारी जो कॉन्शियसनेस है उसे रिवाइव करेंगे, उसे मेंटेन करेंगे और उसे साथ ही साथ इम्प्रूव करते चलेंगे।
So each and every of us has his eternal relationships with Krishna.
हम सब जानते हैं कि हम सब सनातन धर्म में है और हमारा और भगवान का जो संबंध है वो सनातन आदिकाल से है।
And Srila Prabhupada came in this material world, in this perishable world, in order to help us to understand what kind of relationships all of us have. We have these relationships, and he arrived exactly here to help us to understand what kind of relationships with Supreme Lord we have.
श्रील प्रभुपाद जी इस भौतिक जगत में हम पतित जीवात्मा जो भौतिक संसार में फंसी पड़ी है और हमारा वास्तविक संबंध प्रभु के साथ क्या है, हम वास्तविक में है कौन और प्रभु कौन है, हमारा उनसे क्या संबंध है, वो हमें हमारे जो रिवील्ड स्क्रिप्चर्स में मिलता है वो बताने के लिए श्रील प्रभुपाद जी इस भौतिक जगत में हम सबको यहाँ से तारने के लिए आए हैं।
This subject matter is scientific. Scientific means that this knowledge is tested through many years, through many generations of bhakti practitioners.
ये जो भक्ति का मार्ग है इसे आप एक साइंटिफिक दृष्टिकोण से भी देख सकते हैं। साइंटिफिक अर्थात क्या होता है कि इसका परीक्षण किया जाता है, उसी हिसाब से ये एक बिल्कुल साइंटिफिक प्रोसेस है। जी प्रभु।
So we have this science. Prabhu, you don't have to repeat each and every time. Yes, Prabhuji. We just go one after another. And there is no need to tell it every time, to tell it every time. So this process is scientific, and we have this scientific system which is called Shri Guru Parampara. It means disciplic chain of succession.
ये जो डिसाइप्लिक सक्सेशन यानी कि हम चौथे अध्याय के भगवद गीता में पढ़ते हैं कि कैसे एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम, राइट? तो ये जो प्रोसेस है वो एक डिसाइप्लिक सक्सेशन के माध्यम से विकसित किया गया है।
So everything is tested by time, everything is tested by experience of other people. If process works, it means it works. There are some symptoms by which one can understand that this spiritual advancement goes on.
भूतकाल में हमें ज्ञात होता है कि ये पूर्व काल में काफी लोग हैं जो मैं कहूँगा कि जिन्होंने इस विधि को अपनाया है और वो हमारे आचार्यगण हैं। तो जो डिसाइप्लिक सक्सेशन उन्होंने फॉलो किया है, जो परंपरा वो फॉलो कर रहे हैं, हमसे भी यही आशा की जाती है कि हम वो डिसाइप्लिक सक्सेशन को एज इट इज फॉलो करें।
So many exalted personalities also are there in this system of Shri Guru Parampara, and all of them are very highly educated and exalted in the spiritual sense.
काफी सारे दिग्गज महानुभाव वैष्णव जन हैं जो आचार्यगण हैं जो इस डिसाइप्लिक सक्सेशन के अंतर्गत आते हैं और उनसे हमें बहुत कुछ सीखना है।
So we have this famous verse from Bhagavad Gita where it is written, or where it is said, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manur ikshva kave bravit. Shri Krishna, Supreme Lord, he says, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivasvan, and Vivasvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu, in turn, he instructed it to Ikshvaku.
जैसा कि हम स्क्रीन पर देख सकते हैं कि चतुर्थ अध्याय का प्रथम श्लोक है, श्री भगवान उवाच इमं विवस्वते योगं प्रोक्तवान अहम अव्ययम विवस्वान मनवे प्राह मनुर इक्ष्वाके ब्रवीता। सो इसका हूबहू ट्रांसलेशन जितना मुझे याद है मैं उस हिसाब से आप लोगों के साथ ट्रांसलेट करूंगा। परम भगवान श्री कृष्ण ये कहना चाहते हैं कि मैंने इस अमर योग विद्या को का जो उपदेश था उस प्रथम बार प्रभु ने सूर्यदेव विवस्वान को दिया था, और विवस्वान के पश्चात उन्होंने मनुष्यों के पिता अर्थात मनु महाराज को ये सेम उपदेश दिया था, और मनु महाराज के बाद ये उपदेश इक्ष्वाकु को मिला। सो कहने का तात्पर्य मात्र ये है कि ये जो ज्ञान है वो एक डिसाइप्लिक सक्सेशन फॉलो करता है।
So one can ask why this science is called here imperishable.
सो ऐसे में कोई व्यक्ति प्रश्न पूछ सकता है कि ये जो साइंस इम्पेरिशेबल साइंस है वो क्यों है और क्या है।
Imperishable means eternal, and eternal, all of us, as it was said before, each and every of us, we have these eternal relationships with Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So it means that the science which describes these eternal relationships with Krishna is also eternal, means imperishable.
इम्पेरिशेबल, इटर्नल, ये शब्द से आप वाकिफ हैं। इसका अर्थ ये होता है कि सनातन है, नित्य है, और ये जो भगवत गीता की जो विद्या है इसमें और भगवान में खास अंतर तो है नहीं। तो ये तब भी हम सब के लिए रेलेवेंट था, आज भी हमारे लिए रेलेवेंट है, और कल भी हमारे लिए ये रेलेवेंट रहेगा।
Imperishable means which existed eternally, always. And each and every of us, we are in the eternal relationships with Krishna. It is just the question, are we conscious? Are we conscious of that we have these relationships or not? But anyway, we have these relationships. And it doesn't matter in which form of life one is situated. It can be human form of life, or a dog or cat or monkey and so on, or kargosh, etc., etc. But anyway, the soul is there and eternal relationships are also there.
जैसा कि हम सब हमारे रिवील्ड स्क्रिप्चर से हमें ज्ञात होता है कि 84 लाख योनियां हैं। तो 84 लाख योनियों में से चाहे हमें मनुष्य योनि प्राप्त हो, चाहे हमें कुत्ते बिल्ली की योनि प्राप्त हो, या कोई भी ऐसे निचली प्राणी की योनि हमें अगर प्राप्त होती है, कहने का तात्पर्य मात्र इतना है कि हमारा और भगवान का जो रिश्ता है वो सनातन आदिकाल से है, और चाहे हम किसी भी योनि में भले ही क्यों ना रहे हो, भगवान हमारे साथ परमात्मा स्वरूप हर योनि में हमारे साथ हमेशा देते हैं, वे हमें कभी अकेला नहीं छोड़ते।
So mainly it is the question of, are we conscious that we have these relationships or not, and are we able to act in these relationships properly or not? That's all. It is the essence.
क्या हम लोग ने भगवत भावनामृत की जो चेतना है उसे विकसित किया है, और क्या हम अपने आप में वो चेंजेस को ऑब्जर्व कर पाते हैं या नहीं, ये प्रश्न है हमें अपने आप से करना है।
So Srila Prabhupada came in order to give us this eternal or imperishable knowledge of how to revive and how to maintain and how to develop these relationships, eternal relationships with Supreme Lord Shri Krishna.
श्रील प्रभुपाद जी इस जगत में आके हम सबको जो भगवत गीता का दिव्य ज्ञान है उसे बताने आए, उसे समझाने आए, ताकि हम लोग अपना जो जीवन है उसे सिद्ध कर सकें, उसे एक दृष्टि दे सके, उसे एक दिशा दे सके।
So the essence is to chant Hare Krishna, is to participate in kirtan and to experience ecstatic emotions like Himanshu Dinda does now. Like you can see, he is very happy by chanting because he is chanting holy names of Krishna, I think, right? Himanshu Dinda. That's why he is happy. Hare Krishna. So it is the essence. Srila Prabhupada gave this process to chant Hare Krishna. It is our relationships with Krishna.
श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ने हमें जो हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र दिया है, तो यदि हम हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का नियमित रूप से जप करते हैं, तो हम अपने आप में देख सकते हैं कि एक ट्रांसेंडेंटल अनुभूति हमें होती है, दिव्य अनुभूति हमें होती है। तो हम जितना अधिक से अधिक हरि नाम का जप करेंगे, तो हम अपने आपस में देखेंगे कि हमारी जो भगवत भावनामृत को लेकर जो चेतना है, वो नियमित रूप से विकसित होती रहती है और हम भक्ति मार्ग में और प्रशस्त होते हैं।
So this knowledge gives happiness. It is not just dry and dry philosophical knowledge, which produces the headache only. It is the knowledge which makes one really happy. Susukham kartum avyayam, as it is said in Bhagavad Gita 9.2.
या नवम अध्याय के दूसरे श्लोक में जैसा कि श्री कृष्ण स्वयं अर्जुन से कहते हैं कि सुसुखम कर्तुम अव्ययम, तो भक्ति का जो मार्ग है वो सुसुखम है। और
So,
क्या प्रभु जी, he was saying something?
you translate up to the end.
या भक्ति का जो मार्ग है वो सुसुखम है। ऐसा नहीं है कि ये कोई ड्राई मेंटल स्पेकुलेशन हो रहा है। कहने का तात्पर्य ये है कि यदि हम हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का जप करते हैं, तो हमें वो अनुभूति होती है। यहाँ पे जितने भी लोग उपस्थित हैं, मेरे ख्याल में हम सभी ने जब हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का जप अधिक से अधिक किया है, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो अनुभूति हमें सबको हुई है। और वो अनुभूति और होती रहे, इसके लिए हमें नियमित रूप से अपना जो जप है वो सुधारना चाहिए, और अधिक से अधिक जप हमें भगवान के नामों का करना चाहिए, हरि कथा का श्रवण करना चाहिए।
So now we will try to discuss this subject matter, how to revive these relationships and so on. Srila Prabhupada wrote about 80 or 90 volumes. So it is it is a lot of knowledge we have got by his mercy. And during this short presentation, we will try to grasp some essential points.
मुझे का ये कहना है कि अभी इस टॉपिक पर और थोड़ा डीप डाइव करेंगे, कैसे श्रील प्रभुपाद की दया से उनके जो पुस्तक है उसमें जो दिव्य ज्ञान है, अब प्रभु जी उसको डिस्कस करेंगे हमारे साथ। जो आज का टॉपिक है कि हमारा भगवान के साथ संबंध कैसा है, कैसे उसको रिवो कर सके, इनवाइट कर सके और रिवाइव कर सके। तो अब टॉपिक जो है उसमें प्रभु जी थोड़ा और डिटेल में हमें समझाना प्रारंभ करेंगे।
Basically, it's the duty of kings and presidents of different countries to help people to get this knowledge.
Sorry, Rohit, I didn't get you. Can you repeat for that?
Basically, it is the duty of those who are ruling the countries, different kings, presidents, and so on. They should arrange everything in this way, in that way that the citizens should get this knowledge, the spiritual knowledge of relationships with Krishna.
प्रभु जी का कहना है कि जिस प्रकार एक समाज के अंदर, एक राष्ट्र के अंदर जो नेता होते हैं, जो हमारा देश का नेतृत्व करते हैं, तो ये उनका मैं कहूँगा कि वो कर्तव्य रहता है कि कैसे वो एक स्टैंड ले, हम सभी जो आवाम होती है उस राष्ट्र की, उस एरिया की, उन तक भगवत भावनामृत का संदेश जो है वो स्थापित करना, लोगों को समझाना, ये उनका कर्तव्य होता है, उनका उत्तरदायित्व होता है कि कैसे अपनी आवाम को भगवान के उन्मुख किया जा सके।
It is exactly what is written in the purport to this text from Bhagavad Gita 4.1. It is written here that human life is meant for cultivation of spiritual knowledge in eternal relationships with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the executive heads of all states and all planets are obliged to impart this lesson to the citizens by education, culture, and devotion. In other words, the executive heads of all states are intended to spread the science of Krishna consciousness so that the people may take advantage of this great science and pursue a successful path utilizing the opportunity of the human form of life. Everything is on the screen, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, everything is on the screen. I'll just read a bit and then I'll translate to the audience.
Okay.
Human life is meant for cultivation of spiritual knowledge in eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि जो हमें मनुष्य जीवन जो मिला है वो हमें इसलिए मिला है ताकि जो आध्यात्मिक ज्ञान जो है हम उसको अपने आप में आत्मसार कर सकें और हमारा जो भगवान के साथ नित्य जो हमारा संबंध है हम उसे जान सकें. And the executive heads of all the states and all planets are obliged to impart this lesson to the citizens by education, culture and devotion. जैसा कि अभी कुछ समय पहले ही मैंने बात कही थी कि प्रभु जी ने बहुत अच्छी एनोलॉजी हमको अभी कुछ समय पहले दी थी जिस प्रकार से एक राष्ट्र है, एक एरिया है और वहाँ का जो नेतृत्व करने वाला राजा है या आप समझ लीजिए प्रेसिडेंसी है, कुछ भी है जो वहाँ पे रूल कर रही है, तो वो उसका उत्तरदायित्व बन जाता है, उसका कर्तव्य बन जाता है कि किस प्रकार से अपनी आवाम को, अपनी जनता को वो भगवत भावनामृत का जो दिव्य ज्ञान है उससे जोड़ सके, भगवान की ओर उन्मुख कर सके. Hare Krishna, Arjun Maurya Prabhu. Are you saying my voice is breaking or are you saying that you are not able to hear Madhava Murari Prabhu? Can anyone please let me know that am I properly audible or not?
Yes, are we audible at all or not? Just tell us. Can you hear us or not?
Okay, am I properly audible to everyone?
Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
thank you. They are saying we both are audible, Prabhuji.
Okay, very good, very good. It is only by Krishna's arrangement that we are audible. Otherwise, it would not be like this.
ये सब कृष्ण की दया है, तभी हम audible हैं ठीक से. हाँ,
Okay.
so I would like to complete the part.
Yeah, yes,
Prabhuji, it's
please.
left. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Just a second, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay.
So जो आवाम है उसको समझाने का जो उत्तरदायित्व है वहाँ का जो नेतृत्व कर रहा है उसका कर्तव्य रहता है कि वो कैसे जो दिव्य ज्ञान है अपने सिटीजन्स को, अपनी जनता को पहुंचा सके. कल्चर जो है उसको हम कैसे एग्जीक्यूट कर सके, फॉलो कर सके. और भक्ति मार्ग जो है उसके बारे में कहना चाहिए कि उसे भी ज्ञात हो पहले और वो दूसरों को तभी ज्ञान दे पाएगा. In other words, the executive heads of all the states are intended to spread the science of Krishna consciousness so that the people may take advantage of this great science and pursue a successful path. जैसा कि अभी मैंने आपको बताया, बस वही बात है. Utilizing the opportunity of the human form of life. हम सभी ये बात जानते हैं कि 84 लाख योनियां होती हैं और उसमें से अलग से 84 लाख योनियों में 4 लाख योनियां जो है वो ह्यूमनॉइड स्पीशीज के लिए रहती हैं. तो ये बात हम सभी जानते हैं कि जो मानव देह है वो बहुत दुर्लभ है, इतनी आसानी से हम सबको मिलता नहीं है और काफी पुण्य अर्जित करने के बाद हमें ये जो शरीर है वो प्राप्त होता है. जरा विचार करने का बात है कि क्यों ऐसा हुआ कि हम लोग भारत में जन्मे और भी ह्यूमनॉइड स्पीशीज हैं, कुछ चाइना में जन्मे हैं, कुछ अफ्रीका में जन्मे हैं, कुछ अमेरिका में जन्मे हैं. मतलब क्यों विशेष रूप से भारत भूमि में ही मेरा जन्म
But it
क्यों
is
हुआ?
not written
ये
anything
बात
about
सोचना.
America here. It is not written
No,
about
no,
America.
Prabhuji. I was just telling that how the valuable the human form of life is and how
But
lucky we are to
no
get
need
this
to
human form of
explain. You
life.
just translate. No need to explain. You just translate.
Okay,
Okay.
Prabhuji. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No
Okay.
need to tell
So
about
let's
America. Nothing is about America in this quote. Really, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
Prabhuji. I'm
also sorry
Yeah.
that I have to tell you about it. Sorry.
No,
Okay.
Prabhuji. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
Yeah.
Good anuvadak. Very nice anuvadak. Okay. Let's go
Thank you.
further. Let's go further. So here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is based on quotes, it is based on quotes, but you will try to simplify it. It is not that we will read everything. So here, in this quote from summary to Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, chapter 2, it is written here that, here, Prabhuji, Sarthak Soni, right? Sarthak Soni.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Okay, good. So here it is written in the summary that A devotee who wishes to advance in Krishna consciousness, he must have knowledge of Krishna's personal form, his three principal energies, his pastimes, and what is important for our discussion. He has to have knowledge about the relationship of the living entities with him. It means it is condition. If one wants to advance in Krishna consciousness, he has to get knowledge about relationships between Krishna and living entity.
Prabhuji, do you want me to only translate the highlighted part?
No, you just translate what I told. No need to translate. I just highlighted that, so you translate what I told.
I'm sorry, Prabhuji, can you repeat that for me?
Okay, so here in this place where I highlighted, it is written that it is important, one must have knowledge about relationships between Krishna and living entities if he wishes to advance in Krishna consciousness.
जी, यस प्रभु। तो जैसा अभी थोड़ी देर पहले मैंने बताया था कि हम सबको वो ज्ञान होना चाहिए कि हमारा जो संबंध है भगवान के साथ वो क्या है। तो जैसे-जैसे हम भक्ति में और अग्रसर होएंगे, तो हम ये बात स्वतः जान पाएँगे कि मैं हूँ कौन और मेरा भगवान के साथ संबंध है क्या?
It means it is condition. If one wants to progress spiritually, he has to get this knowledge. First, we get theoretical knowledge, then maybe gradually we get some spiritual realizations.
तो अगर हम ये जानना चाहते हैं कि हमारा संबंध भगवान के साथ कैसा है, तो पहली चीज तो ये है कि हम उसे थ्योरेटिकल बेसिस पे जाने की क्या है, वो हम पढ़कर जान सकते हैं। दूसरे नंबर पर आता है कि जब हम आध्यात्मिक रियलाइजेशन करें, जप करें, साधु संग करें और जो भक्ति के प्रोसेसेस हैं उसको फॉलो करें, तो हमें सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन अपने आप होगा।
Okay, then we go to the next slide, and here in this slide, Srila Prabhupada explains that you don't have to translate what is on the slide, you just translate what I'm saying. He says that each and every of us, we try to get some happiness from different kinds of relationship.
यहाँ पे प्रभु जी बताना चाह रहे हैं कि हम हर किसी व्यक्ति को जो सुख है, जो प्लेजर है, उसकी अनुभूति किसी न किसी प्रकार से होती है।
So they quote from here, which is highlighted. I'm trying to find some relationship with particular type of society, particular type of community, particular type of nation, particular type of family or individuals.
तो यहाँ पे जो हाइलाइटेड है उस समय ये चीज मालूम होती है कि समाज में हम जिस समाज में हम लोग रहते हैं, तो हम सबका एक दूसरे से कोई ना कोई रिश्ता नाता जरूर होता है। हम किस टाइप की कम्युनिटी में रहते हैं, हम किस देश में रह रहे हैं और जिस परिवार में हम जन्मे हैं, पले बड़े हैं, सो हम सबका एक दूसरे से कोई संबंध है, तो हम उस संबंध से खुशियां देना और लेना पसंद करते हैं।
So the reason why people, they are in this search of happiness in different kinds of relationships is that these eternal relationships with Supreme Lord, they have lost these relationships.
तो हम सब जो साथ में रहते हैं उसका मुख्य जो पर्पस रहता है वो ये रहता है कि हम एक दूसरे को खुशियां दे सके और उनसे ले सके। बट आज के टाइम पे ये हो गया है कि हमने वो जो हमारा रिश्ता है, जो हम आजू बाजू में दोस्तों से ढूंढ रहे हैं, वो रिश्ता क्या हम सब ने भगवान के साथ स्थापित किया, और यदि हमने अगर वो स्थापित कर लिया है तो सुख की अनुभूति स्वतः होगी।
It would be more exact. It would be more exact to tell that one he doesn't lose these relationships, but he forgets about these relationships because relationships are there, but we are not so much conscious about these relationships. So when we say that these relationships are lost, literally it means they are not lost, they are forgotten. It is
यहाँ पे
forgotten.
एक बात ध्यान देने की है कि हमारा जो भगवान के साथ संबंध है, ऐसा नहीं कि हमारा संबंध उनके साथ है ही नहीं। ये बस ये है कि हम अभी जिस भौतिक जगत में आ गए हैं, तो माया का जो आवरण है हम पर आ चुका है, उसी वजह से हम हमारा जो भगवान के साथ ऑलरेडी संबंध जो स्थापित है, हम बस उसे भूल गए हैं।
Mhm.
और हमारा जो भगवान के साथ रिश्ता है, हमें उसे बस एक बार रीएस्टैब्लिश करने की आवश्यकता है।
Okay, so he gives an example. He gives an example. Srila Prabhupada gives an example. Like, for example, one wants to find his watch in the darkness. He is touching this. He is touching that. But as you can see on the screen, but the real thing you are not touching. When one is trying to find his watch or whatever, he tries to find it in the darkness.
यदि मान लीजिए अंधेरा हो और आपके आसपास कोई वस्तु रखी हुई हो, तो अंधेरे में आप ये अनुमान नहीं लगा पाएंगे कि जो वस्तु आप ढूंढना चाह रहे हैं, क्या आपने वही वस्तु ढूंढी या नहीं ढूंढी है। सो हमें मालूम नहीं पड़ेगा कि जो वस्तु मैं खोज रहा हूँ, क्या मैंने उसे ही अपने हाथ में पकड़ा है, क्या मैं उसे ही ढूंढ रहा हूँ या नहीं ढूंढ रहा हूँ, क्योंकि अंधेरा है तो उस वजह से जो विषय वस्तु अपनी जगह पर रखी है, मैं उसे खोज नहीं सकता।
That's why we say Om Gyanatimirandasya, Gyananjana Shalakaya, and so on. It means that we were in darkness, but by mercy of spiritual master, he came in this dark place with the torch of knowledge. And because of this, we became enlightened.
हम लोग जानते हैं कि हम जब स्टार्टिंग में जो प्रेयर करते हैं, ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य, उसका अर्थ यही है कि मेरा जो जन्म हुआ था तो वो बहुत गहन अंधकार में हुआ था, और मेरे जो पूज्य गुरुदेव जी हैं, उनके संरक्षण में मुझे दिव्य ज्ञान मिला, तो मैं उस अंधेरे से बाहर आ चुका। और वो जो अंधेरा था उससे मैं बाहर आ चुका, उसका मतलब है कि जब मुझे उनके मुखारबिंद से दिव्य ज्ञान जो है वो प्राप्त हुआ, तो मेरा जो तमस था, मेरा जो अंधकार था अज्ञान रूप का, उसका नाश हुआ।
That's why devotees are so happy. As you can see, they are happy, always happy, or quite often happy, because they found these relationships with Supreme, or at least they are on the path of reviving these relationships.
तो यही अंतर होता है एक संसारिक व्यक्ति में और एक भक्त के जीवन में। भक्त जो रहते हैं वो बाय नेचर उनका ऐसा होता है कि वो हमेशा प्रसन्न चित्त रहते हैं, खुश रहते हैं। लेकिन हम किसी और व्यक्ति को देखें जो भगवान का भक्त नहीं है, तो वो वैसे ही अपना कहना चाहिए कि प्रॉब्लम्स ऑफ लाइफ से जूझ रहा है। लेकिन हम लोग जो डिवोटीज होते हैं, वो लोग हैप्पी रहते हैं थ्रू ऑल द सिचुएशन इन आवर लाइफ।
So it is good example. For example, you lost your watch, and I'm sure that each and every of you and myself, of course, also we have this experience when we when we lose our watch or whatever, and then we found it and we are happy. So it is almost the same, but of course it is on the it is on the higher level. It is the level of spiritual happiness.
तो जैसा कि अब एग्जाम्पल आप सभी को दिया गया था कि मान लीजिए आपकी घड़ी है और आप अंधेरे में हैं, ठीक है। तो अगर वो आपकी घड़ी खो जाए तो आप बड़े आश्चर्य में होंगे, मैं कैसे ढूंढूं उसे। और मान लीजिए वो घड़ी आपको मिल जाए तो आप कितने प्रसन्न चेत होंगे। तो यही एनालॉजी जो है अभी लिखी थी, मैं बस वही आपके सामने सभी के सामने रिपीट कर रहा हूँ। आई थिंक वो क्लियर है हम सभी को।
So that's why Srila Prabhupada, he says here, I'm highlighting this part, we're giving you your lost relationship, which you are searching out, life after life. Translate, please.
तो यहाँ पे श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ने बहुत इजी तरीके से हम सभी को समझाया है कि थ्रू द प्रोसेस ऑफ कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस हमारा जो संबंध है जो भगवान के साथ, हम बस भूल गए हैं। तो जब हम कृष्ण कॉन्शियस के मेथड को अपनाते हैं, तो हमारा जो वो लॉस्ट रिलेशनशिप है प्रभु के साथ, वो रिवाइव होना शुरू हो जाता है। और ये हम लाइफ आफ्टर लाइफ ढूंढ रहे हैं। तो यहाँ पे आप आई थिंक एनोलॉजी से कनेक्ट कर पा रहे हैं कि क्यों घड़ी का उदाहरण दिया गया था। तो जो हम लाइफ आफ्टर लाइफ जिस हैप्पीनेस को हम ढूंढ रहे हैं, राइट, तो फिर वो हमें जब हम कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस को फॉलो करेंगे तो वो हमें इसी लाइफ में मिल सकता है।
So here it is written, and you are confused. Take this, you will be happy. You will find your relationship, eternal relationship with Krishna. With Krishna.
और ये काफी सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी है। तो मैं ये कहूँगा कि जैसे ही हम कृष्ण भावनामृत को अपना लेते हैं तो हम जो है हैप्पीनेस के मूड में आ जाते हैं, रिजॉइस के मूड में आ जाते हैं, और हमें हमारा जो संबंध है जो शायद हम भूल चुके हैं या भूल जाते हैं, वो हमें वापस से रीएस्टैब्लिश होके हमारे सामने आ जाता है। अच्छा, किसके साथ? हमारा और भगवान श्री कृष्ण का जो संबंध है।
Okay, we go further. Mhm. So the essence of this relationship in Sanskrit, we call it, how do we call it? We call it Aishwarya. Aishwarya. Okay.
तो
So
प्रभु जी बस एक बात बता रहे थे कि संस्कृत में एक टर्मिनोलॉजी होती है, उसको कहते हैं ऐश्वर्य। तो नाउ प्रभु जी
Aishwarya, it means to understand that Supreme Lord is great and to have
ऐश्वर्य
this attitude to Supreme.
ऐश्वर्य का अर्थ होता है ऑप्युलेंस, कि भगवान का जो कहना चाहिए कि कैसे समझाऊं आपसे, आई थिंक आप समझ चुके हैं कि ऐश्वर्य मीन्स द ऑप्युलेंस ऑफ द लॉर्ड, राइट?
No, Aishwarya means the greatness of the Lord. That he
द
is,
ग्रेटनेस ऑफ द
as
लॉर्ड।
it is written here, predominator. He is predominator. We are subordinate. He is the greatest person.
तो ऐश्वर्य का अर्थ प्रभु जी ने आप सबको बता दिया है, आप समझ ही चुके हैं। तो भगवान हमसे मतलब कहना चाहिए कि वे हमसे हर चीज में श्रेष्ठ हैं। हम लघु हैं, हम अणु हैं, राइट? और वो परम है, वो हमसे बड़े हैं हर चीज में, राइट?
I don't know, right or not. You are speaking Hindi. I cannot understand. Sorry.
नो प्रभु जी, आई वाज आस्किंग टू द ऑडियंस।
You're asking to the audience. Okay. And opulences in Sanskrit will be vibhuti. Vibhuti are explained in the 10 chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So here on this slide, you can see, let's try like this. I will be reading one sentence in English, yes? And you, without repeating, you just translate in Hindi. Is it possible?
I'll try, Prabhu.
Just by one sentence. Okay, let's try. Doubts about the eternal relationship of the Lord and the living entity are created by mental speculators in different ways. But the conclusive fact is that the relationship of God and the living entity is one of the predominator and the predominated.
हमारा जो भगवान के साथ सनातन इटर्नल जो हमारा रिलेशनशिप है भगवान के साथ, सो ऐसा काफी बार होता है कि हम बहुत प्रकार के ऐसे जो लोग होते हैं, तथाकथित लोग होते हैं, हम उनसे हमारा जो संबंध है भगवान के संबंध जो है उनसे उनके मतलब उनसे हम सुनते हैं, श्रवण करते हैं, तो हम एक्चुअली कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं। और लेकिन जो इसका जो कंक्लूसिव आंसर रहता है वो ये होता है कि हमारा और भगवान का जो संबंध उसमें ये होता है कि वो प्रीडोमिनेटर है और हम प्रीडोमिनेट होते हैं, यानी एक नियंत्रक है और हम कंट्रोल होते हैं। प्रीडोमिनेटर आप आई थिंक सब समझ ही गए होंगे। और एक होता है प्रीडोमिनेट हो जाना और एक होता है प्रीडोमिनेट करना। जो प्रीडोमिनेट हमको करते हैं वे ईश्वर होते हैं, प्रभु होते हैं, और जो प्रीडोमिनेट हो जाते हैं
it seems to be that you started to explain again. You just translate. No need to explain. Okay.
You just translate what is written here. I was just telling about predominator and predominator.
Okay. Yeah. The Lord is the eternal predominator, and the living entities are eternally predominated. We are eternally predominated by Krishna.
तो ये काफी सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी है, इसका मुझे नहीं लगता आप सभी को ट्रांसलेशन का खास आवश्यकता है, बट मैं कह देता हूँ कि भगवान जो है वो प्रीडोमिनेटर है और हम जो है सनातन आदि काल से प्रीडोमिनेट होते हुए आ रहे हैं।
Real knowledge of this relationship entails reviving the lost consciousness to this standard, and the process of such revival is devotional service to the Lord. It is very important. It is the point It is the idea. It is, how to say, it is the conclusion of all sacred scriptures that one should perform devotional service, but it is great secret for many people.
So वास्तविक जो सत्य है वो ये है कि हमारा और जो भगवान का रिश्ता है, जो करंट टाइम पे ऐसा होता है कि हम भूल जाते हैं, तो उसका जो कंक्लूसिव ट्रूथ है वो ये है कि भक्ति मार्ग को अपना कर हमारा जो लॉस्ट रिलेशनशिप जो रहता है उसको हम वापस से रीएस्टैब्लिश कर सकते हैं, रिवाइव कर सकते हैं.
Okay, we're going further. So it is about those who are practicing devotional service. This slide about this category of people.
Prabhuji, can you repeat? I'm sorry.
This slide that you can see on the screen, this slide is about this category of people who are performing devotional service.
तो ये जो स्लाइड हम देख पा रहे हैं, ये स्लाइड हमें ये बताना चाहता है कि डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ पीपल होते हैं जो भगवान की भक्ति करते हैं, उनका नाम कीर्तन वगैरह सब में एंगेज रहते हैं.
So you can see on the screen that some of them, they worship to the deity, some of them are preaching, some of them are chanting holy names of Krishna.
तो जैसा कि हम इस चित्र में देख पा रहे हैं कि कुछ भक्त हैं, वो उपदेश दे रहे हैं, कुछ श्रवण कर रहे हैं, कुछ कीर्तन कर रहे हैं, कुछ स्मरण कर रहे हैं. और हाँ, राइट.
Or chanting holy names of Krishna.
और कुछ हैं जो भगवान के पवित्र नाम का कीर्तन कर.
Okay. Сататам киртаянту мам, ятантасча дридхавратага, намасянтасча мам бхактя, нитya yukta upasate Bhagavad Gita 9:14. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion.
ये भगवद गीता 9वें अध्याय का 14वां श्लोक है. सततम कीर्तयन्तु मां नमस्यन्तस्य मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते. तो मैं इसका ट्रांसलेशन जो रहता है वो आपको हिंदी में यथारूप से बताता हूँ. ये महात्मा मेरी महिमा का नित्य कीर्तन करते हुए, दृढ़ संकल्प के साथ प्रथम करते हुए, मुझे नमस्कार करते हुए भक्ति भाव से निरंतर मेरी पूजा करते रहते हैं.
Okay, very good. So, and what else we can say? This devotional service can take place on in four ways. In four ways.
तो ये जो सततम कीर्तन का जो प्रोसेस है वो 4 तरीके से किया जा सकता है.
One can practice devotional service in 4 ways. Of course, there are different classifications according to Vaishnava sacred scriptures. There are different classifications of different kinds of devotional service. It is one of the classifications. 4 ways or 4, I would say, dimensions. How one can perform devotional service.
तो अंदर क्लासिफिकेशंस होती हैं. तो ये है कि 4 प्रकार के जो लोग बताए गए हैं, कैसे 4 प्रकार के जो लोग बताए गए हैं वो डिवोशनल सर्विस को जो एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं. सो अब उसके बारे में हम आगे जानेंगे.
So here on this photo you can see Food for Life mission in Sukhumi. Sukhumi, it is the city in Abkhazia. It is one of the countries from ex-USSR, Abkhazia, and the name of city is Sukhumi. So here, because of the war, there are people who are poverty-stricken, who are hungry. So Food for Life works there. They help. They give food. They give prasadam to people who are in need, and also who are in some places where war or something like this, or some calamities takes place.
सुखुए नामक जगह जो है, स्थान जो है वहाँ पे ऐसे लोग जिनके पास खाने को नहीं है, पीने को कुछ नहीं है, खाद्य पदार्थ की जहाँ कमी है, तो ऐसे में हरे कृष्ण डिवोटी जो हैं वहाँ पे जो नेसेसिटी है फूड स्टफ्स की, वो वहाँ की जो लोकल जनता है, जो आवाम है, उनको उपलब्ध करवा रहे हैं।
So it is one of the welfare activities.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I didn't get you.
It is one of the welfare activities.
So जो कल्याण करने के लिए जो एक्टिविटीज करी जाती है उनमें से एक है।
Ага. So Шримад Бхагаватам 10, 22, 35 Etavaч Janma Sabhalyam Dehinam Iha Dehishu Pranair Ardhair Dhya Vacha Shriya Acharanam Sada. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words.
Just a
Translation.
second, Prabhuji.
Translation is on the screen.
या ये हम सभी का कर्तव्य हो जाता है कि हम दूसरों के परोपकार के लिए हम हमसे जो कुछ बन सके हम दूसरों की सेवा में जो कुछ कर सके, चाहे वो वेल्थ के थ्रू हो, चाहे वो लाइक किसी भी तरीके से हम उसकी सेवा कर सके जो उस चीज के लिए नीडी है, जो कुछ हमसे बन सके हम उसके लिए कर सकें, जैसा इस फोटो के अंदर है कि हम खाना खिला सकते थे, लाइक दैट।
Okay, thank you very much. So we have these 4 dimensions or 4 ways how to perform devotional service. Means one can perform this activity with his point 1 life, point 2 wealth, point 3 intelligence, point 4 words.
सो 4 चीज जो बताई थी, पहला उसमें हो जाता है लाइफ, दूसरा आ जाता है वेल्थ धन, तीसरी आ जाती है बुद्धि इंटेलिजेंस, और चौथे आते हैं वर्ड्स।
So one can dedicate his life, the whole life, to Krishna's mission, to ISKCON mission, to propagate Krishna consciousness.
एक व्यक्ति अपना जो जीवन है वो भगवान को समर्पित कर सकता है उनके मिशन को लेके, वो जो प्रचार में कह सकते हैं जो भगवान का दिव्य ज्ञान है, तो उसके लिए एक व्यक्ति अपना जो जीवन है वो न्यौछावर कर सकता है, समर्पित हो सकता है।
So it means to dedicate his life, it means that we have some Shakti, we have some energy, and we give our energy, we perform some devotional service, and of course it means that we dedicate our time to perform this devotional service, and we also give our energy to perform this devotional service.
हम चाहे तो डिवोशनल सर्विस जो है भरसक प्रयास कर सकते हैं एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए।
Okay, so Srila Prabhupada says that a devotee should try to understand everything in relationship with Krishna and try to serve everything in that spirit.
एक जो डिवोटी रहता है उसे हमेशा वो चेष्टा करनी चाहिए कि वो जो कुछ भी करे वो कृष्णा को खुश करने के लिए, और जो उसका और भगवान का जो संबंध है उसको स्थापित कर सके वापस से प्रभु के साथ, और उसको उसी कॉन्शियसनेस के साथ वो कार्य करना चाहिए।
It means everything is related with Krishna. It is just the question of our consciousness. Do we see this relation or not? But anyway, all energies, everything that we see around us, and we ourselves, the source of everything is Supreme Lord Krishna. We also are parts and parcels of Krishna, particles of Krishna. So it means that he is the basis and source and of everything, and he is cause of all causes.
तो यहाँ पे भगवान श्री कृष्ण की कुछ बातें बताई जा रही हैं कि कैसे कृष्ण जो है परम भगवान है, परम नियंत्रण करने वाले हैं, और कैसे वो सर्व कारण कारणम है। और दूसरी बात यहाँ पे ये है कि हम जो कुछ भी अथक प्रयास जो कुछ भी हम करते हैं, जो भी चेष्टा हम करते हैं, तो हमें वो ऐसे करनी है कि हम सब कुछ उस मूड में करें कि हम भगवान की सेवा कर रहे हैं। हमारे जितने भी प्रयास हो, जितने भी हमारे एंडेवर्स होते हैं, वो बस इस मूड में होने चाहिए कि हमें किसी भी कुछ भी करके प्रभु की सेवा करनी है।
So when Srila Prabhupada says that one should try to serve everything in that spirit, it means that it is the question of perspective, of perception. How do we perceive what is around us? Is it meant for Krishna, or it is meant for our sense enjoyment?
ये एक दृष्टिकोण की बात होती है।
What is the purpose? What is the purpose of what we see around us? What is the purpose? It is the main question.
प्रभु जी, कैन यू रिपीट दैट फॉर मी? आई डिडंट गेट यू।
It is the main question to understand, to have an understanding. What is the purpose of different objects and so on, what we see around us? What is the purpose of a person that we see before us? To whom it or to whom he or she belongs? And to whom or he or she or some object should serve? Are you
प्रभु जी ये
getting?
कहना चाह रहे हैं कि या प्रभु जी, आई गॉट इट।
Uh-huh.
प्रभु जी यहाँ पे कहना चाह रहे हैं कि वो अपना हम सबको अपने आप से एक प्रश्न करना चाहिए कि हम जो भी चीज अपनी आंखों से देख पा रहे हैं, चाहे वो कोई विषय वस्तु हो, चाहे वो कोई व्यक्ति विशेष हो, सो उसका अल्टीमेट पर्पस क्या है, यानी उसका पर्पस क्या है, कि उसे क्या करना चाहिए, क्या उसका क्या मुझे कहना चाहिए क्या कर्तव्य होना चाहिए उसका, कि वो क्या करे अपना संबंध स्थापित करने के लिए भगवान के साथ।
So from
ये
philosophy.
क्वेश्चन है अपने आप से।
Mhm. So from philosophical point of view, it is quite easy to understand on the to answer on this question, because if Krishna is cause of all causes, if he is cause of all causes, it means that everything what we can see around us and we ourselves, everything is meant to serve him, to serve supreme personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. From philosophical point of view, it is very easy to answer on this question.
आई थिंक आप सभी क्वेश्चन समझ चुके होंगे कि जो भी विषय वस्तु है, विशेष व्यक्ति है, उसका क्या प्राइम पर्पस रहता है। सो प्रभु जी ने उसका उत्तर दिया है कि सॉरी प्रभु जी, कैन यू रिपीट द लास्ट पोर्शन
Uh,
दैट यू सेड राइट नाउ?
which
द
part?
लास्ट पोर्शन,
Which part?
द
I'm
लास्ट पोर्शन दैट यू मेंशनड,
I'm
व्हाट्स द
just
सॉल्यूशन फॉर दैट?
about the solution will be the next sentence that we will tell in the future.
No, probably right now what you mentioned.
Okay, I'm saying that from philosophical point of view,
Yeah.
it is easy to answer on the question, what should we do with what is around us? Why it is easy? Because when we know that Krishna is cause of all causes, then logically, philosophically, the conclusion is if everything comes from Krishna, then everything is meant to serve Krishna, logically, philosophically, easy to understand.
So अगर हम एम्पायरिकल नॉलेज के बेसिस पे देखें तो ये जो प्रश्न है उसका हमें बड़ा ही सीधा उत्तर मिलता है कि जब हम इस बात को जानते हैं कि कृष्ण जो है वो सर्व कारण कारणम है, तो जो भी कुछ हम अपने आसपास में देख पा रहे हैं वो कृष्ण की दया से है, कृष्ण की वजह से ही है, चाहे वो हम स्वतः क्यों ना हो। हम सब अपनी एग्जिस्टेंस पे, खुद की एग्जिस्टेंस पे नहीं है, सब कुछ जो है वो कृष्ण की दया से है। तो स्वाभाविक है कि जो भी विषय वस्तु है या व्यक्ति विशेष है उसका वो परम कर्तव्य बनता है कि जिसने ये सृष्टि करी है, तो अल्टीमेटली हमें उसी की सेवा करनी है।
So from philosophical point of view, it is easy to understand, but from practical point of view, it is the question of do we have this realization, spiritual realization or not, and to what extent we have this realization. Did we really realize it or not?
तो ये तो अभी हम आपको बताया फिलोसॉफिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से। अब अगर आप उसको आध्यात्मिक दृष्टिकोण से देखें तो वो आप तब देख पाएंगे कि आपकी जो चेतना है वो कहाँ तक विकसित है, तो आप वो स्वतः ही अपने आप जान सकेंगे।
because living entity living entity was rebelling against Krishna's will, and living entity came in this material world in order to enjoy independently without Krishna. So it is the question of habit. There is a habit to see everything separated from Krishna and to try to enjoy these energies of Krishna as if these energies don't belong to Krishna, as if these energies don't have any owner, don't have any proprietor.
Prabhuji, I just heard the first part, what you mentioned right now, not the last portion when you concluded. So can you repeat that?
Technical issues, right? Some technical issues.
Yeah, so your voice was not properly audible to me.
Okay. So the question is that okay, let's do it by short parts. Living entity came in this material world because this living entity was trying to be independent from Krishna.
So जो लिविंग एंटिटी है, जो जीवात्मा है, वो इस भौतिक जगत में तब आती है जब वो प्रभु से रिटेलिएट करती है, और रिटेलिएट का अर्थ अब हम सब जानते हैं, आई थिंक, राइट? तो उस वजह से क्या होता है कि भगवान की विल के खिलाफ हम गए, इस वजह से हमारा आगमन होता है इस भौतिक जगत में.
So living entity.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, Prabhuji. My battery is low. Can I put a charger?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Please do it. Okay.
It will take only 1 minute and 2.
Okay. Yeah. We will wait for 1 minute. Okay, dear friends, if you like, we will be waiting for him for 1 minute. If someone from you can speak English without any Hindi, without any need of Hindi translation and so on, if you like, we can discuss something. Maybe you have some questions regarding this part of presentation, if you like. Does someone understand me? Or
Prabhuji, thanks for waiting.
Okay. So let's continue, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So living entity comes to this material world and he perceives, this living entity perceives these energies of Krishna as if these energies don't have any proprietor.
So, Prabhuji, I cannot hear you.
Haribol.
Can you hear me?
Haribol.
Haribol, Prabhuji.
Haribol, can you hear me?
Right now I can hear you.
Very good. Very good. So, okay, let me repeat it again. It is Krishna's arrangement that I have to repeat it 4 times because it is really important point that we come to this material world.
Prabhuji,
yeah. Cannot hear me?
Again, the voice is lacking.
Voice is lacking, really?
I cannot hear.
Okay, let's ask our audience, can they hear us or not?
Yes, Prabhuji, we are able to hear you.
Very good. Sarthaksoni, Prabhuji, maybe some technical issues on your side. I don't know. Just let's try again. Living entity comes to this material world and he, living entity, perceives these energies and objects and persons around him and so on, as if these energies don't have any proprietor. Haribol.
तो जो भगवान की शक्तियां आती हैं, तो हमारा जो उनको लेके परसेप्शन होता है, तो यदि हम उसे सही तरीके से परसीव करते हैं और इस बात का हम सॉल्यूशन फाइंड करते हैं कि अगर ये शक्ति है तो उसका मतलब है उसका प्रोप्राइटर भी होगा.
So it is the question of habit. There is a habit. Living entity, conditioned living entity, is accustomed to perceive the world around them as a world which is created or which exists just for his own enjoyment.
बद्ध जीवात्मा की प्रवृत्ति होती है कि संसार में जो कुछ है वो सब उसी के उपयोग के लिए है, उसी के उपभोग के लिए है.
So this state of consciousness is called Bahirmukha. Bahirmukha, it means that living entity, he turns his head 180 degrees against Supreme Lord Shri Krishna.
तो ऐसे जो लोग होते हैं जिनके बारे में अभी बताया गया, उनको कहते हैं बहिर्मुखा, जो लोग भगवान से अवर्स होते हैं.
So it is the question of habit. It is the question of habit to perceive this world as if it doesn't have any proprietor. And of course, if living entity denies the proprietor and controller, supreme controller of this world, it means automatically, it means he denies Supreme Lord Shri Krishna and he denies his eternal relationships with Krishna.
तो ऐसे लोग जो इस बात को मानते नहीं है कि इस जगत का भी एक प्रोप्राइटर है जो कि सुप्रीम लॉर्ड कृष्ण है, तो ऐसे लोग बहिर्मुख हैं.
Okay, so here in this quote, Srila Prabhupada says, to serve everything means to engage everything in the service of Krishna. Here you can see this on the screen.
तो जैसा कि हम स्क्रीन पर देख पा रहे हैं कि हम जो कुछ करें, हमारे जो भी एंडेवर्स रहते हैं, वो इस मोड में होने चाहिए कि हम सुप्रीम लॉर्ड श्री कृष्ण की सेवा करें.
So it is called Yukta Vairagya.
उसे कहते हैं युक्त वैराग्य.
Yukta Vairagya means that everything that we have or we know or we possess and so on, we can engage, or at least we can try to engage in devotional service, in the service of Krishna. It means that we try to develop this understanding that the source of this is Krishna. So it means that the proper usage of what we have is to dedicate it, to use it in the service of Krishna.
युक्त वैराग्य का अर्थ ये होता है कि हमारे पास जो भी विषय वस्तु उपलब्ध है, हम उसे किस प्रकार भगवत भावनामृत में उसे उपयोग कर सकें.
So it is the process that we are trying to get rid from this bad habit of enjoy material world, and we try to create good habit to engage everything in the service of Krishna.
तो हमारी जो ये बुरी आदत लगी हुई है कि जो कुछ इस जगत में देखते हैं वो हमारे ही इंद्रिय भोगों के लिए है, तो हम उस बैड हैबिट को क्विट करेंगे एक अच्छी आदत को लगाकर.
And the more we can engage everything in the service of Krishna, the more we see and we know how to engage everything in the service of Krishna. It means basically the more Krishna consciousness we have.
हम जितना अधिक युक्त वैराग्य होकर चलेंगे भगवान की सेवा के लिए, उतना ही उन्नति करेंगे हम भक्ति मार्ग में.
Okay, let's go further. So, life. One can dedicate his life to Krishna.
तो एक व्यक्ति जो है वो अपना पूरा जो जीवन है वो श्री प्रभु को समर्पित कर सकता है.
Like Shri Krishna, Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, he says in Bhagavad Gita 9:27, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Yat karoshi yadashnasi, yat juhoshi dadasi yat, yat tapasya sikaunti yat, at kurushvama darpanam.
तो ये जो हम वर्स देख रहे हैं 9वें अध्याय का 27वां श्लोक है। मैं आपको इसका हिंदी का जो अनुवाद है वो आपको पढ़कर सुनाता हूँ। प्रभु कहते हैं, हे कुंती पुत्र, तुम जो कुछ भी करते हो, जो कुछ खाते हो, जो कुछ भी अर्पित करते हो या जो कुछ भी दान देते हो और जो भी तपस्या करते हो, उसे मुझे अर्पित करो, उसे मुझे अर्पित करते हुए करो।
Of course, one cannot offer sinful activities, make sinful activities, make an offering from sinful activities, make an offering to Krishna. One cannot do it. One should reject sinful activities, but activities that are proper, one can dedicate to Supreme Lord Shri Krishna.
तो हमें ऐसे में ध्यान रखना है कि हमारा जो सिंफुल एक्टिविटी करने की जो प्रवृत्ति है, हमें उसके फल भगवान को एज एन ऑफरिंग नहीं देने हैं। हमें वो चीज़ ऑफरिंग देनी है जिसको हम वास्तविक रूप से भगवान की सेवा की तरफ लगा सकें।
So the main idea is, anyway, it is quite often people are interested. What is the purpose of my life?
तो काफ़ी बार हम देखते हैं कि लोग काफ़ी उत्सुक रहते हैं कि वो एक जो सवाल है कि हमारा जो उद्देश्य क्या है हमारी लाइफ का, हमारा जो सोल जो एम है हमारी लाइफ का, वो है क्या? तो लोग काफ़ी उत्सुक रहते हैं इस प्रश्न का उत्तर जानने के लिए।
So some categories of people, they say that this question of the purpose of one's life is not so serious. You just eat, drink, and be happy and enjoy this life. What is the use to ask this dry philosophical questions? What is the purpose of life? You have this life, just live your life and enjoy your senses, enjoy these objects that you see around you. Don't ask these questions. Don't try to be too smart. Just live as other people, as ordinary people live. Huh?
साधारण जन लोगों की संख्या ये होती है कि एक ही लाइफ है, अभी जी लो, दोबारा किसने देखा है कि दोबारा जन्म मिलेगा, कहाँ मिलेगा, मृत्यु उपरांत लोग कहाँ जाएंगे। तो लोगों की मानसिक चेतना जो है वो ऐसी रहती है कि जो भी कुछ इस दृश्य जगत में हमें उपलब्ध है उसका उपभोग मात्र हमारे इंद्रियों की तुष्टि के लिए होना चाहिए।
It means that some categories of people, they are able to live like Bahirmukhas, means those who are not thinking, not even thinking about Supreme Lord, and they experience their so-called happiness. Some people are able to live like Bahirmukhas, but other people, like some spiritual seekers and so on, and devotees and other spiritual practitioners or candidates for spiritual life, they feel some emptiness in their hearts when they have no answer on the question of what is the purpose of my life.
तो दो प्रकार के लोगों की बात यहाँ चल रही है, एक वे लोग जो बहिर्मुख हैं और एक वे लोग जो आध्यात्मिक जीवन जीते हैं, जो भगवान से प्रेम करते हैं, जो भगवान की भक्ति करते हैं। ऐसे जो लोग बहिर्मुखा होते हैं, ये लोग कहीं न कहीं अपने जीवन में एक खालीपन महसूस करते हैं जब उन्हें उस प्रश्न का उत्तर नहीं मिलता। और वो प्रश्न ये होता है कि मेरे जीवन का उद्देश्य क्या है? मेरे जीवन का लक्ष्य है क्या? तो ऐसे लोग जब इस प्रश्न का उत्तर नहीं ढूँढ पाते तो वे काफ़ी हताश होते हैं, काफ़ी निराश होते हैं।
So if some people are able to say that you just live your life, you just live your life, you just enjoy your life, enjoy your senses, and don't don't think, don't contemplate too deeply, just live like you can, and just to enjoy life. It means that these people, their habit to enjoy the senses and to live independently from Supreme Lord, this habit is really strong. This habit carries away them from spiritual activities.
तो बहिर्मुखा जो लोग होते हैं, ऐसे लोगों में ये प्रवृत्ति पाई जाती है कि वे लोग जो है कि हर इंद्रिय विषय का जो भोग है अपनी इंद्रिय तुष्टि के लिए करते रहना चाहते हैं, और ऐसे लोग जो इन्हीं कार्यों में अधिक से अधिक अपनी चेतना लगाए रखते हैं, प्रवृत्त रहते हैं, तो ऐसे लोगों के लिए काफी मुश्किल हो जाता है कि वे इन सबको त्याग कर भगवान की सेवा की ओर उन्मुख हो सकें।
But this habit becomes weak when one accumulates so-called Agyata Bhakti Sukriti. Agyata Bhakti Sukriti, it means that he, for example, he takes some prasadam, or he hears Harinam, Nagar Sankirtan, or he reads something from Srila Prabhupada's books. So gradually, this Bhakti Agyata Sukriti accumulates, and because of this, person becomes more interested in spiritual life.
तो अगर कोई व्यक्ति ये चाहता है कि वो आध्यात्मिक उन्नति की ओर अपना जो मार्ग है वो प्रशस्त करे, तो उसके लिए उसे जो यदि उसे एक्सीडेंटली अगर भगवान का प्रसाद मिल जाता है, या फिर उसे कहना चाहिए कि भक्तों का एसोसिएशन मिल जाता है, या वो नगर संकीर्तन में जाके भगवान के संकीर्तन में नृत्य करता है, सो ऐसे क्या होगा कि वो ग्रेजुअली एक ऐसे लेवल पर आएगा जहाँ पर वो खुद ही इस बात को डिसइंग्विश कर पाएगा कि पहले वो क्या था और एक्चुअली उसे क्या करना चाहिए।
So devotees of Krishna, they can be on different levels of spiritual advancement, but the main idea is to understand that this life is meant for Krishna's pleasure. We should serve Krishna, and in order to maintain this inspiration, to dedicate life for Krishna, one should get spiritual association. By spiritual association, one can maintain his inspiration, his enthusiasm to serve Krishna and to understand that this life has purpose.
यदि वो भक्तों के अनुगत्य में आकर भक्ति का जो मार्ग है उसका अनुगमन करता है, तो मेरे ख्याल में कि उसे खुद ही अपने इस प्रश्न का उत्तर मिलेगा। प्रश्न ये है कि क्या उसके जीवन का लक्ष्य है? तो अगर वो स्पिरिचुअल एसोसिएशन में रहता है, भगवान का प्रसाद को ग्रहण करता है और प्रभुपाद जी के पुस्तकों को पढ़ता है और संकीर्तन मूवमेंट में अपने आप को ओतप्रोत करता है, तो उसे इस प्रश्न का उत्तर स्वतः मिल जाएगा कि उसका जो जीवन का उद्देश्य है वो क्या है, उसे क्या करना है अपने जीवन में, ताकि वो अपने जीवन को सफल बना सके।
Association influences on our values, on our beliefs. So which association we choose, it means that kind of consciousness we will develop. That's why it is very important to associate with Vaishnavas, especially with exalted Vaishnavas, in order to have our consciousness spiritualized.
सो यदि हम साधु संगति करेंगे, वैष्णवों की संगति में रहेंगे, तो संगति का हमारे जीवन में हमारी चेतना पर इस कदर प्रभाव पड़ता है कि हमारा जो बिलीफ सिस्टम रहता है, हमारा सोचने समझने का जो तरीका रहता है, हमारा लाइफस्टाइल रहता है, वो इम्पैक्ट होता है हमारे इस डिसीजन से कि हम किस संगति को ज़्यादा बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं। यदि हम साधु संगति को बढ़ावा देंगे तो हम स्पिरिचुअलाइज्ड होंगे, यदि हम असत संगति करेंगे तो उसी प्रकार से हमारे कॉन्शियसनेस के अंदर हमें उस लेवल का चेंज देखने को मिलेगा। तो ये हम पर निर्भर करेगा कि हम कौन सी संगति अपनाना चाहेंगे।
Okay, then we go to the next slide, and here the question of wealth is explained. Haribol. Haribol.
Can you repeat?
Of course I can.
17.
Of course I can. Yeah. On this slide, this issue, the subject matter of wealth is explained.
तो इस स्लाइड पर हम ये देख पा रहे हैं कि जो धन से संबंधित जो विषय रहते हैं उसका हम अभी विश्लेषण करेंगे.
In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, it is written that there are different kinds of charity. It is very important knowledge, really.
So भगवद गीता के इस 20वें नंबर के वर्ष में हमें ये मालूम पड़ रहा है कि जो दान हम कर्तव्य समझकर करते हैं, किसी ऐसी भावना को रखकर नहीं करते हैं, प्रत्युपकार की आशा के बिना करते हैं और समुचित काल हो, स्थान में जो भी हम योग्य व्यक्ति को देते हैं उसको सत्व गुण में दान माना गया है, सात्विक दान कहा गया है.
So here on the screen, you can see these verses from Bhagavad Gita. And if you have Bhagavad Gita at your home, you just find time and open this chapter 17 and text is from 20 to 22, and you will become enlightened by this knowledge. Enlightened.
तो जो टेक्स्ट क्रमांक 21 है तो उसमें ये बताया गया कि अगर कोई दान किसी प्रत्युपकार की भावना, यानी अगर मैं किसी चीज की उम्मीद करूं कि मुझे बदले में क्या मिलेगा, उससे अगर वो कोई कर्म के फल की इच्छा करेगा और वो अनिच्छा पूर्वक है, मतलब स्वतः नहीं किया है, तो वह ऐसा दान रजोगुणी कहलाया गया है.
So the charity in the mode of goodness in sattvic charity is really recommended.
So जो टेक्स्ट नंबर 20 है, उसमें जिस चैरिटी का उल्लेख हुआ है जो इन द मोड ऑफ गुडनेस हुआ है, सो इट इज हाईली रिकमेंडेड कि हम लोग जो हमारा दान है वो हम इन द मोड ऑफ गुडनेस ही करें.
So some points regarding this sattvic charity are mentioned here. For example, this charity should be given out of duty without expectation of return.
So जैसा कि अभी मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले बताया, टेक्स्ट नंबर 20 का मैंने आपको अभी ट्रांसलेशन दिया था, तो बस वैसा है कि अगर कोई दान जो है कोई कर्तव्य समझकर कोई अगर दान दे देता है और किसी प्रत्युपकार की भावना नहीं रखता है, प्रत्युपकार अर्थात कि कोई एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं है बदले में, तो ऐसा जो दान है वो किसी ऐसे योग्य व्यक्ति को अगर कोई दे देता है तो उसे सात्विक कहते हैं, सात्विक दान माना गया है.
Because, for example, sometimes people, they donate some money to different temples or whatever, but they expect something. They expect, for example, that Supreme Lord or some demigod will fulfill their desires. Or if they donate something to not to the temples, but to some companies and so on, they want to be glorified. They want to be glorified. It is their expectation.
So वो जनगण की बात की जा रही है, जो लोग दान है या कोई भी ऐसी चीज है, विषय वस्तुओं का दान अगर वो करते हैं, लेकिन उनकी जो उसके पीछे चेतना रहती है वो ये रहती है कि हमें पब्लिक ग्लोरी मिलेगी, हमें नेम मिलेगा, हमें फेम मिलेगा कि हमने इस जगह दान दिया है. ऐसी जगह दान देना जो बेसिकली ऑथोरिटेटिव नहीं होती है. सो ऐसे लोगों को बेसिकली इन द मोड ऑफ रजस माना गया है, इन द मोड ऑफ पैशन.
Sarkak Prabhuji, you're again trying to explain, to do your explanations. No need. You just repeat in Hindi what I'm saying. That's all. Nothing more is required. Yeah, okay. Really. I wasn't saying.
Came out of the flow.
I wasn't saying anything about Rajasic charity. I wasn't saying. Just repeat what I'm saying. Okay. Just like this.
Just came out of the flow. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be easier for both of us. So it should be given out of duty without expectation of return. And devotee, why he is able to perform this charity in the mode of goodness? Because he understands that maybe I will be appreciated, maybe I will not be appreciated, but anyway, Krishna, who is in the heart of any living of every living entity, he knows about this charity, and I'm doing this not just to get some respect. I'm doing this to satisfy Krishna's senses, to make him happy.
तो वहाँ पे ऐसे लोगों का उल्लेख हो रहा है जो लोग ये भावना नहीं रखते हैं कि क्या बदले में मान सम्मान मिलेगा या नहीं मिलेगा, वो बस इसीलिए करते हैं ताकि अल्टीमेटली वो भगवान श्री कृष्ण को, जो हमारे परमात्मा स्वरूप हमारे हृदय में स्थित हैं, उनको तुष्ट कर सके, उन्हें खुश कर सके.
So you see, there are different kinds of charity, and it is not that any charity can be considered the devotional service to Supreme Lord Shri Krishna.
Guruji, I didn't get you, I'm sorry.
There are different kinds of charity, but it is not that any charity can be considered as a service to Krishna. It is not that. It is not that any charity can be considered as devotional service for Krishna. Just particular type of charity can be considered as service for Krishna.
चैरिटी के काफी प्रकार होते हैं, लेकिन हर चैरिटी को हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि ये वास्तविक मायने में जो है भगवान की सेवा के लिए है, डिवोशनल सर्विस के लिए है. एक पर्टिकुलर टाइप होती है, एक कैटेगरी होती है चैरिटी की, जिसको हम मान सकते हैं कि ये भगवत सेवा के लिए है.
And also it is written here in the verse number 20 that this charity should be given at the proper time and place and to a worthy person. Because, for example, a drunkard approaches us and he says, give me money, and we give him some money, but we know, or at least we have to understand it, that he will spend this money to get some liquor, some alcohol drinks. So it means he will not be benefited, and we also will not be benefited. This vikarma means reactions for sinful activities. Both of us, we will get it.
So जो दान है वो हमें हमेशा समुचित काल और योग्य व्यक्ति को देना चाहिए. उदाहरणार्थ के तौर पे हम दे सकते हैं कि एक ड्रंकर्ड व्यक्ति अगर है, तो ड्रंकर्ड व्यक्ति यदि आपसे पूछने आता है कि उसे पैसों की आवश्यकता है, तो यहाँ पे हमें थोड़ा सद्बुद्धि का उपयोग करके ये डिसीजन लेना है कि हम उसे दान ना दें, क्योंकि अगर हम उसे दान देते हैं तो जाहिर सी बात है वो क्योंकि ड्रंकर्ड है तो वो और शराब इत्यादियों या मद्य का सेवन करने के लिए उस पैसे को खर्चेगा. तो हमें ऐसे व्यक्तियों को दान नहीं देना चाहिए.
So it is the whole science. And when it is written at the proper time and place, it means if we are speaking about sattvic time, it is morning hours. And if we are speaking about sattvic place or spiritual transcendental place also, it is Krishna's temple, and much more better to perform, to give this charity in good environment and at good place, and to person who deserves this charity and who can use this charity properly. In that way, we will be benefited, and the person to whom we give this charity also will be benefited.
तो हमें ऐसे योग्य व्यक्ति को देनी चाहिए जो सही मायने में सही ढंग से उस धनराशि का सदुपयोग कर सके और ऐसे एंडेवर्स में लगा सके जहाँ पे वो भगवान की अल्टीमेटली सेवा कर रहा हो, जिससे उसे भी लाभ हो और अंत में अंतोदगत हमें भी उसका लाभ हो.
Okay, so let's go back to this verse where it was written about welfare activities. The third line is important. Here, these 4 types of welfare activities are mentioned: pranayar, arthayar, dhiya, vacha.
4 प्रकार की वेलफेयर एक्टिविटीज का यहाँ इस वर्स में उल्लेख होता है: प्रणायर, अर्थायर, ध्येय और वाचा.
So pranayar means life, prana. Artha means wealth, and dhiya means intelligence, and vacha, vak, means words.
प्राणेर का अर्थ हो गया जीवन, अर्थैर का अर्थ हो गया वित्त, ध्येय का अर्थ हो गया बुद्धि और वाच का अर्थ हो गया शब्द.
Okay, so now let's speak about intelligence. About intelligence. And I declare, Krishna says, and I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours, it means Bhagavad Gita, who studies Bhagavad Gita, he worships me by his intelligence.
So भगवद गीता के 18वें अध्याय का 70वां श्लोक है जहाँ पर भगवान श्री कृष्ण अर्जुन से ये कहते हैं कि जो कोई भी भगवान और अर्जुन के इस संवाद को पढ़ता है तो वो भगवान की सेवा करेगा through his intelligence.
So when we were speaking about how to engage our life or how to dedicate our life to Krishna consciousness or how to dedicate our wealth to Krishna consciousness, basically it means in case of life, one can become a full-time devotee, for example, full-time devotee, or to do some devotional service somewhere in ISKCON temple on a regular basis. Hari.
Prabhuji, I didn't get.
You didn't get. Okay. When we're saying about dedication our life for Krishna, it means how to dedicate. It means that one can become full-time devotee, for example, or he can do some devotional service at ISKCON temple or center on a regular basis.
तो यदि कोई व्यक्ति ये निश्चय कर ले कि वे भगवान की सेवा करना चाहता है तो वो दो प्रकार से कर सकता है. एक तो यह है कि एक विकल्प उसके पास ये है कि वो फुल टाइम अपने आप को इस्कॉन टेम्पल में भगवान की सेवा के लिए समर्पित हो सकता है. और दूसरा विकल्प उसके पास ये रहता है कि वो जो कुछ भी कर रहा है जितना हो सकता है उससे जितना उसे बन सकता है वो अपनी सेवा करने के लिए तैयार है.
Regarding engaging our wealth, our artha in devotional service, it also should be done on a regular basis. That's why you have in India, in Indian ISKCON, you have this membership program.
So हमें ये ध्यान रखना है कि कैसे हम हमारा जो वित्त है, हमारा जो धन है, उसको भी भगवान की सेवा में लगा सकें.
And regarding intelligence, this worship Krishna by our intelligence also should be done on regular basis.
So जहाँ तक इंटेलिजेंस से वर्शिप करने की बात आती है तो ये भी हमें डेली बेसिस पे करना है ताकि हम भगवान को खुश कर सकें.
In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Nitya Bhagavata Sevaya. It means that it should be done on a regular basis. It should be done every day. Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavata Sevaya means to serve exalted devotee and to serve book Bhagavata. It means to serve sacred scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and so on.
तो श्रीमद् भागवतम में हमें इस बात का उल्लेख मिलता है कि नित्यम भागवत सेवा, जिसका अर्थ ये होता है कि हमें भागवत का नित्य रूप से पाठ पठन करना चाहिए, उसकी सेवा करनी चाहिए और साथ ही साथ हमें श्रीमद् भगवद गीता जो है उसका भी नित्य पाठ करना चाहिए और उसकी भी सेवा करनी चाहिए.
So it is the secret of spiritual success, or it is the secret of success in any field of one's life. The activity should be done on regular basis and for a long period of time. In that way, one can be successful.
तो अगर कोई व्यक्ति ये चाहता है कि उसे सफलता प्राप्त हो तो उसे लंबे अरसे तक इसी एक्टिविटी को रिपीटेडली नित्य रूप से करना चाहिए.
And of course, the source of this intelligence that we try to engage in our service to Krishna, the source of this intelligence is Krishna himself.
So इस सोर्स जो है यानी जो इस इंटेलिजेंस का ये लिए जो सोर्स रहेगा जिससे हम भगवान की सेवा कर सके वह स्वतः श्री कृष्ण ही है.
Bahirmukha doesn't understand it, but by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we understand it. At least to some extent, we understand it. That that the source of our intelligence, of our ability to think, to contemplate, to come to reasonable conclusions, this ability, it is not basically our ability. This ability comes from Supreme Lord Shri Krishna.
हमारे अंदर जो काबिलियत रहती है जिसे हम सोच सकें, कॉम्प्रिहेंड कर सकें और रीजन कर सकें, सो ये जो क्षमता है, ये क्षमता जो हमें दी गई है वे भगवान के द्वारा ही दी गई है और भगवान ही उसके कारण स्वरूप है.
So here in Bhagavad Gita, verse 15:15, Krishna says, I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness.
तो ये भगवत गीता के 15वें अध्याय के 15वें श्लोक में भगवान इस बात की पुष्टि करते हैं अर्जुन के सामने कि वे सबके हृदय में स्थित हैं और उन्हीं की दया से, उन्हीं की कृपा से हमें रिमेम्बरेंस आती है, हमें ज्ञान आता है और उन्हीं की दया से हम चीजें भूल भी जाते हैं. और क्या
By all the Vedas I am to be known, indeed I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas.
सारे वेदों के थ्रू मुझे ही जानना ही लक्ष्य है और हालांकि भगवान ही कंपाइलर हैं वेदांत के लिए भी और वो ही एकमात्र ऐसे हैं जिनको वेदास का ट्रू एक्चुअल नॉलेज है.
So Krishna gave us this intelligence more or less. To some people, he gave less intelligent. Well, some people are less intelligent. Some people are more intelligent. Everything goes by Krishna's will. Anyway, what we have, what kind of intelligence we have, we should use it in Krishna consciousness. Means we should read these books and meditate on Krishna's instructions and do these attempts to understand what Krishna wants from us.
तो ये जो विश्लेषण है कि कोई थोड़ा अल्प बुद्धि वाला है, कोई अधिक बुद्धिमान है, सो वो भगवान की दया की वजह से है कि कोई अल्प बुद्धि का है, कोई ज्यादा बुद्धि वाला है और अंतोतगत्वा ये आता है कि जैसी भी हमारे पास बुद्धि है, हम उस बुद्धि का सदुपयोग करके किस प्रकार से अपने आप को डोवटेल कर सके कृष्ण कॉन्शियस की ओर, ये हमारा लक्ष्य है.
Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna mercifully expressed his will on the pages of these books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that for me?
Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna, mercifully expressed his will on the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita.
तो भगवान की जो इच्छा है, भगवान ने इसे प्रस्तुत किया है श्रीमद् भगवद गीता के थ्रू, श्रीमद् भागवतम के थ्रू और श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत के थ्रू.
So if we are interested in reviving our relationships with Krishna, it means naturally we should be interested to understand what are Krishna's instructions and what Krishna wants from us, because he is predominator. He is predominator.
So यदि हम ये चाहते हैं कि हमारा जो खोया हुआ संबंध है भगवान से पुनः स्थापित कर सके, तो उसके लिए ये होगा कि जितने भी इंस्ट्रक्शंस श्रीमद् भगवद गीता के रूप में है, भागवतम के थ्रू है, श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत के थ्रू है, हम उसको सही ढंग से फॉलो कर सकें.
So first, let's accept, at least theoretically, that he is predominator, and then from this position, we can open this nice book, Bhagavad Gita, as it is, Srimad Bhagavatam, and let's try to understand if he is predominator, and if we accepted our position of predominated, then it is our interest to understand what he wants from us and how we can serve him.
तो थ्योरेटिकल बेसिस पे एटलीस्ट हम ये मान के चलते हैं कि कैसे श्री कृष्ण ही हैं जो प्रीडोमिनेटर हैं, और जब हम इस बात को एक्सेप्ट करते हैं तो हमारे लिए काफ़ी आसान हो जाता है कि उनके जो निर्देशन है जो उनका, उसे हम प्राप्त कर सकें.
Okay, so one can dedicate his life to Krishna's service by becoming a full-time devotee, or one can one can engage his material resources, his money in this devotional service, and one can also use his intelligence when he tries to understand Krishna's will.
So एक व्यक्ति जो है वो अपना पूर्ण जीवन जो है वो भगवान को समर्पित कर सकता है और वो टेंपल में ऐसे फुल टाइम ब्रह्मचारी या फुल टाइम जो है सेवा कर सकता है और अन्यत्र रूप से वो अपना जो धन संपत्ति इत्यादि जो है उसे वो भगवान की सेवा के लिए प्रयोग कर सकता है.
So these are the ways how we can revive our relationships with Krishna.
ये कुछ तौर तरीके थे जिससे हम हमारा जो खोया हुआ संबंध है भगवान के साथ उसको वापस से रीएस्टैब्लिश कर सकें.
But there is one more way, and this way is meant for those who have, and it is typical in Kali Yuga. It is typical in Kali Yuga. One who doesn't have time to dedicate himself completely to the mission of Krishna's mission. One doesn't have time, one doesn't have money, and one doesn't have intelligence. So are there any hope for these people? We can ask, is there any hope for these people who have no time, no money, and no intelligence?
एक अन्यत्र उपाय भी है. अब ऐसे में सवाल आता है कि अगर किसी व्यक्ति के पास समय ना हो, किसी के पास धन ना हो, इतनी बुद्धि ना हो, तो क्या कोई पॉसिबिलिटी है, कोई चांसेस हैं उसके लिए? ये प्रश्न है.
There is a hope, and the hope is that we have this speech power, and even if we are not able to understand what is written in Srila Prabhupada's books, I mean, we don't have deep realizations. Anyway, we can just repeat Krishna's words for benefit of other people.
So, जो एक रे ऑफ होप है वो ये है कि हमारे पास हमारी वाक शक्ति है, तो वाक शक्ति का प्रयोग जो है वो भगवान के प्रचार के लिए उपयोग हो सकता है हुबहू, जिससे हम अपना तो कल्याण करेंगे और साथ साथ दूसरों का भी करेंगे.
We can repeat these words, and basically it is the way how we can understand the meaning of these words. We repeat it, and gradually we understand what we are speaking about.
तो हम उसका रिपीटिशन करेंगे, जो हम पढ़ेंगे वो हम बोलेंगे, और जैसे जैसे हम रिपीट करते रहेंगे तो एक ऐसा स्टेज आएगा जब हम उसे समझने भी लगेंगे.
Even if to speak about some prakrita gyan, about some mundane knowledge, the teachers, the professors in universities and so on, when they teach their students to some sciences, it helps them to understand this subject matter better.
Prabhuji, I didn't get.
Yes.
Can you repeat?
Ah?
Can you repeat that for me?
Yes, of course. Yes. In universities, when professors, they teach their students to some sciences, it helps them, it helps these teachers, these professors to understand these subject matters, to understand these sciences better.
तो यहाँ पे प्रभु जी बहुत अच्छी एनालॉजी दे रहे हैं कि जिस प्रकार से विश्वविद्यालय हैं, स्कूल हैं, जो कुछ है, तो वहाँ पे जो प्रोफेसर होते हैं, टीचर्स होते हैं, तो वो जब कोई विषय वस्तु हमें पढ़ाते हैं, तो वो जितनी बार उसे रिपीट करते हैं, जितनी बार वो हमें वो पढ़ाते हैं, जो सब्जेक्ट मैटर का जो नॉलेज होता है वो उनको काफ़ी डीपली रियलाइज होने लग जाता है.
So the same way in Krishna consciousness process, when we try to preach, when we just try to share our knowledge, our realizations, Krishna, who is in the heart of every living entities, he sees our attempts, he can see these attempts, and he helps those who try to preach and to be engaged in this devotional service.
So उसी प्रकार से जब कोई व्यक्ति भगवान के जो निर्देशन में जो भी कहा गया है उसे पढ़ता है और उसे दोहराता है बार बार और दूसरों को बताता है, प्रचार करता है, तो उसी प्रकार से होता ही है कि भगवान जो है हमारे परमात्मा स्वरूप सभी के हार्ट में स्थित हैं। तो वो जो नॉलेज है उसका एनलाइटनमेंट धीरे धीरे उस व्यक्ति को करवाने लगते हैं और उस व्यक्ति को भी धीरे धीरे नॉलेज आने लग जाती है भगवान की दया से।
Тешам сатата юктанам, баджатам притипурвакам, дадами будхи йогам там, yenamam upayanti te Bhagavad Gita 10.10. No need to repeat the Sanskrit. So there in this verse, Krishna says that I give in intelligence that helps them to come to me, to approach me. I give this intelligence, spiritual intelligence, to those who serve me with love and without interruption.
So प्रभु जी ने अभी 10वें अध्याय का 10वां श्लोक को हमारे सामने प्रस्तुत किया, जहाँ पर कृष्ण अर्जुन से कहते हैं कि वे उन लोगों को बुद्धि प्रदान करते हैं जो सतत रूप से उनका कीर्तन करते हैं। और प्रभु जी, just
Yeah.
a second, प्रभु जी, I'll read the exact transliteration I have with me.
Yeah.
जो प्रेम पूर्वक मेरी सेवा करने में निरंतर लगे रहते हैं, उन्हें मैं ज्ञान प्रदान करता हूँ, जिसके द्वारा वे मुझ तक आ सकते हैं।
Okay. So we can continue, right?
Yeah, प्रभु जी।
Okay. So he gives this intelligence, and it means what? It means we do one step to Krishna, and he does 10 steps or 100 steps in order to become closer to us. Means he appreciates our endeavors when we try to understand him. He appreciates these endeavors.
तो हम जितने एंडेवर भरसक प्रयास करते हैं भगवान के समीप जाने के लिए, तो भगवान भी उसी प्रकार से हमसे रेसिप्रोकेट करते हैं और वो काफी अप्रिशिएट करते हैं हमारे इनिशिएटिव्स और एंडेवर्स को लेके जो हम उनकी ओर लेते हैं।
If we will be putting these endeavors on regular basis, if we will be trying to read Srila Prabhupada's books on regular basis, it means that we will be getting Krishna's mercy on a regular basis.
यदि हम श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की बुक्स का नियमित रूप से पाठन करते हैं तो हमें उसी रूप में प्रभु की मर्सी उपलब्ध होगी।
We will be getting this mercy in the form of intelligence that will help us to become closer and closer to Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and it will be His mercy to us.
भगवान की जो मर्सी है वो इस रूप में मिलेगी, हमारी जो बुद्धि है वो ज्यादा शुद्ध होगी, जिस तरह से हम भगवान के और समीप जा सकें।
Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. It means he knows about all our endeavors, about our achievements on spiritual path, and about our faults, of course, about our faults also.
तो हम ये बात जानते हैं कि कृष्ण जो है वो परमात्मा स्वरूप हमारे हृदय में स्थित हैं और वे अच्छे हिसाब से, उनके पास कच्चा चिट्ठा है, उनके पास हिसाब है कि कौन व्यक्ति किस प्रकार के एंडेवर्स ले रहा है, अथक प्रयास कर रहा है और उसी प्रकार से वे उसे रिजल्ट प्रदान करें।
And so we have this texts, we have these shlokas regarding how we can use our speech power in devotional service for Krishna. So I think we should read these verses from Bhagavad Gita, just translation. I will be reading in English. So at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me." Please.
Prabhu ji, just a second, I'll get the exact translation of that verse that you mentioned right now.
Okay. Then,
yeah.
Yes.
It's 68 and 69, right?
Yes, both.
It's verse number,
both.
yeah. So in text number 68, Krishna says, इस प्रकार मैंने कृष्ण तथा अर्जुन इन दोनों महापुरुषों की वार्ता सुनी और यह संदेश इतना अद्भुत है कि मेरे शरीर में रोमांच हो रहा है। अगले श्लोक में, oh pardon, I was reading 64, I'm sorry, I'll read 68 and 69.
Okay.
I'm very sorry.
Okay.
60, yeah. So the verse 68 says, हे राजन, जब मैं कृष्ण तथा अर्जुन के मध्य हुई इस आश्चर्यजनक तथा पवित्र वार्ता को बारंबार स्मरण करता हूँ, तो प्रतिक्षण हालात से गदगद हो उठता हूँ. Now it's 76, and we are reading 68. Prabhuji, sorry, I again
Don't worry. Okay,
misled.
you
I'm very
just
sorry.
okay, maybe it will be easier just to translate from screen, huh? Okay, let's try to translate from screen as it will go, not a
Yeah, okay,
problem.
Prabhuji, I'll try.
Not problem,
Yeah,
not a
I'll try.
problem. For one
For
who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end, he will come back to me.
तो जो ये परम गुह्य जो सीक्रेट रहता है, परम गुह्य जो ये संवाद का जो सीक्रेट रहता है, वो जब भी कोई व्यक्ति किसी डिवोटी को सुनाता है, तो उससे भगवान की शुद्ध डिवोशनल सर्विस गारंटीड रूप में मिलती है. और अंतोदगत्वा जब वो अपना देह त्याग करता है, तो वह भगवान के पास वापस जाता है.
There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear.
भगवान ये कहते हैं कि ऐसा कोई भी व्यक्ति जो ये सुप्रीम सीक्रेट डिवोटीज के मध्य में बताता है, उसे प्योर डिवोशनल सर्विस गारंटी मिलती है और अंतोदगत्वा अपने जीवन के लिए भगवान के पास पहुंचता है. और भगवान इस बात की पुष्टि करते हैं कि भगवान को ऐसा व्यक्ति जो है संसार भर में सबसे ज्यादा प्रिय रहता है, और ऐसा कोई भी नहीं है जो उस व्यक्ति से भगवान को अधिक ज्यादा पसंद हो.
So as you can see, Krishna appreciates very much our endeavors on spiritual path. He appreciates when we try to read sacred scriptures, and also much more he appreciates when one tries to share this knowledge with other people.
Prabhuji, I got the exact transliteration. So do I have a permission
Yes,
to read
please
it
do.
again?
Yes, please do it.
Yeah. क्योंकि तुम मेरे अत्यंत प्रिय मित्र हो, अत्य एव मैं तुम्हें अपना परम आदेश, जो कि सर्वाधिक गुह्य ज्ञान है, बता रहा हूँ. मैं इसे अपने हित के लिए सुनो. It was 60. No, again it was 64 and we are reading 68.
Mistake
Just
again.
Just a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I am getting the exact. It's 68. It
Are
says,
you
जो
sure?
व्यक्ति
Are you
भक्तों
sure?
को यह परम.
Are you sure?
This time I'm very sure.
Okay, let's try.
Yeah. So I'm very sorry, devotees. मुझसे 3 बार एक ही गलती हो गई. So this is exactly transliteration 18.68. जो व्यक्ति भक्तों को यह परम रहस्य बताता है, वह शुद्ध भक्ति को प्राप्त करेगा और अंत में वह मेरे पास आएगा. एंड आफ्टर दैट कम्स, और मैं ये घोषित करता हूँ कि जो हमारे इस पवित्र संवाद का अध्ययन करता है, वह अपनी बुद्धि से मेरी पूजा करता है. तो मुझे now it's right.
Oh,
No need
very
to worry.
good. Very good. Tike. Okay, so it is the way to become dear to Krishna.
So ये एक तरीका है जिससे हम भगवान के और प्रिय बन सकते हैं.
And it is the desire of a devotee to become dear to Krishna, to become closer to Krishna, to become qualified to serve Krishna.
ये भक्त की दिली इच्छा होती है कि वे भगवान के समीप जा सके, भगवान की और समीप जाके वो और अच्छे से भगवान की सेवा कर सके.
Okay, so and the last quote for today, just the last quote for today, when one tries to revive his relationships with Krishna. Again, what we can do for this? We can dedicate our life, or end. We can use our resources, our money, artha, in devotional service. We can donate on regular basis. We can use our intelligence. We can read sacred scriptures. We can preach. We can preach, or yes, we can preach. All these kinds of activities. What is the result? That one becomes under direct care of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna.
यदि कोई व्यक्ति वो सारे endeavors करता है, जिसका अभी हमने उदाहरण देखा कुछ समय पहले, कि वो जो है sacred scriptures जो हैं, हमारे जो पवित्र शास्त्र हैं, उसका अध्ययन करता है, उसका प्रचार प्रसार करता है, और जितना कुछ उससे बन सकता है वो उतना जो मैसेज ऑफ गॉड है उसको प्रोपोगेट करता है। सो तो ऐसे में होता ही है कि भगवान के वो डायरेक्ट भगवान के डायरेक्ट जुरिसडिक्शन में वे आ जाता है। और प्रभु जी, जस्ट अ सेकंड, आई एम गेटिंग अ डिस्टर्बेंस। प्रभु जी, जस्ट अ सेकंड।
Ага, окей. Let's wait a little bit. Mm, Yeah,
आई एम वेरी सॉरी प्रभु जी फॉर द डिस्टर्बेंस।
you don't worry.
या
You don't worry.
तो मैं
Okay.
ये कह रहा था कि हम प्रभु जी, आई वाज अबाउट टू फिनिश।
Ah,
तो जो भी कोई व्यक्ति अथक प्रयास करता है जितना उसे बन सकता है, तो वो भगवान के डायरेक्ट निर्देशन में आ जाता है। भगवान उसकी पर्सनली टेक केयर करेंगे अगर कोई व्यक्ति जो सुप्रीम साइंस ऑफ नॉलेज है वो डिवोटीज के बीच प्रस्तुत करता है तो।
mhm. So here on the screen you can see this quote from Srimad Bhagavatam 1:947, and here Srila Prabhupada writes, "The devotees of the Lord are always in the heart of the Lord, and the Lord is always in the heart of the devotees."
के हृदय में हमेशा भगवान होते हैं और भगवान के हृदय में हमेशा भक्त होते हैं।
That's all.
या
Short translation, long sentence and
प्रभु
short
जी,
translation.
it meant that only, it meant that.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
What a wonderful language. Okay. That is the sweet relation between the Lord and his devotees.
ये काफी मधुर रिश्ता रहता है भगवान और उनके भक्तों के बीच।
Due to unalloyed love and devotion for the Lord, the devotees always see him within themselves, and the Lord also, although he has nothing to do and nothing to aspire to, is always busy in attending to the welfare of his devotees.
क्योंकि भगवान से बेहद प्रेम करते हैं, तो वे भगवान को अपने अंदर और भगवान उन्हें अपने अंदर देखते हैं, और उसे कोई भी विषय वस्तु से लेना देना नहीं होता है। वे सिंपली व्यस्त रहता है ताकि वो दूसरे भक्तों का कल्याण कर सके।
For the ordinary living beings, the law of nature is there for all actions and reactions, but he is always anxious to put his devotees on the right path.
साधारण जन लोगों के लिए जो प्रकृति के नियम है वो सभी एक्शन और रिएक्शन को देखने के लिए, बट जो भक्त है वो काफी एंशियस रहता है ताकि वो जो डिवोटीज है उनको सही पाथ पर रखे।
The devotees, therefore, are under the direct care of the Lord.
जो डिवोटी हैं, जो भक्तगण हैं, वो भगवान के डायरेक्ट नियंत्रण में रहते हैं।
And the Lord also voluntarily puts himself under the care of his devotees only.
और भगवान भी उसी प्रकार से अपने आप को भगवान भी उसी प्रकार से हमारे साथ रेसिप्रोकेट करते हैं और डिवोटीज के साथ रहते हैं।
So as you can see, we can do these welfare activities on the level of our life, wealth, and intelligence and words. We do these welfare activities, and as a result, Supreme Lord Shri Krishna also becomes busy in attending to the welfare of his devotees.
I'm sorry, I was not able to hear you properly. Am I audible?
We do these 4 types of welfare activities, right?
Yeah.
Life, money, intelligence, words. We do these welfare activities. It is our steps to Krishna, and Krishna does his steps toward us, and he becomes also busy in attending to the welfare of his devotees.
So जैसा कि अभी थोड़ी देर पहले हम लोग ने श्रीमद् भागवत के उस पद के ट्रांसलेशन में देखा था कि प्राणेर अर्थेर ध्येय और वाचा, यानी 4 प्रकार से, यानी प्राण यानी अपना समुच्च जीवन अर्पित करके, और धन यानी हमारा जो धन है, संपत्ति है, उसे यूज़ करके भगवान की सेवा के लिए, और फिर रहता है बुद्धि, तो बुद्धि का प्रयोग हम करते हैं भगवान के मैसेज को प्रोपेगेट करने के लिए, और चौथा रहता है वाचा, यानी हमारी वाक शक्ति जो है, उसकी हेल्प से हम भगवान के मैसेज को प्रोपेगेट करते हैं। तो जब हम ये 4 कार्य करने के लिए बिज़ी हो जाते हैं, तो उसी प्रकार से भगवान भी उस पर्टिकुलर भक्त के वेलफेयर में व्यस्त हो जाते हैं।
So in that way, Supreme Lord Krishna reciprocates, and it is the desire of a devotee to understand and to see how Supreme Lord in this exact moment, in this exact moment, in this particular situation of my life, how he reciprocates. It is the interest of a devotee to understand it.
तो इस प्रकार से भगवान जो है अपने भक्त के साथ रेसिप्रोकेशन आदान प्रदान करते हैं।
But at the same time, here in this quote, it is written that there are ordinary living beings who are under law of nature.
और साधारण जनगण जो होते हैं वो भौतिक प्रकृति के कार्य में मतलब रहते हैं, उनके एक्शन और उनके रिएक्शन।
So karmic reactions are there, and it is not that one becomes liberated soul immediately. Usually, these karmic reactions and Krishna's will goes together.
भगवान की इच्छा और कार्मिक रिएक्शन जो है वो दो साथ ही साथ चलते हैं। ऐसा नहीं होता है कि कोई व्यक्ति एकदम से ही लिबरेट हो जाता है, मुक्त हो जाता है।
And when one is on the path of bhakti, path of devotional service, of course, karmic reactions take place, but these reactions take place under guidance of guidance and observation of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, under his control.
तो जैसा कि हम जानते हैं कि यदि कोई व्यक्ति है वो भक्ति मार्ग की ओर अग्रसर रहता है, तो ऐसा होता है कि कोई कार्मिक रिएक्शन उस भक्त के जीवन में भी डेवलप हो, लेकिन चूंकि वो भगवान के डायरेक्ट सुपरिंटेंडेंस में रहता है, तो उस वजह से वो जो कार्मिक रिएक्शंस है वो उसे कम से कम बॉदर करते हैं।
So it is quite difficult to understand where is karma and where is Krishna. That's why spiritual guidance is really needed for one who wants to revive his relationships with Krishna.
यदि हम चाहते हैं कि हम अपना जो संबंध है भगवान के साथ पुनः स्थापित करें, तो फिर ऐसे में इस का हमें पूर्ण नॉलेज होना चाहिए, ज्ञान होना चाहिए कि कर्म और कृष्ण दोनों में भेद क्या है।
At the same time, we can simplify this situation by following one of the instructions of His Holiness Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj.
So एक इंस्ट्रक्शन है बाय हिज होलीनेस गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज, जो हम फॉलो कर सकते हैं।
We can simplify our situation. We can make it simple. Once he was asked in Mayapur, it was 2018, the spring of 2018, Mayapur, he was asked how to understand where is karma and where is Krishna.
So 2018 की बात है जब पूज्य गुरुदेव जी से पूछा गया था कि कृष्ण और कर्म में क्या भेद है, क्या अंतर है।
So the answer was very simple and very nectarian at the same time. He told that when we face some problems or troubles or calamities, we should explain ourselves that it is our karma, it is because of our faults in the past.
तो अगर कोई व्यक्ति अपने आप को उस सिचुएशन में फाइंड करता है जहाँ पे कैलामिटीज है या फिर कोई संकट उस पर आ टूट पड़ा है, तो उसे ये समझना चाहिए कि वह उसके पूर्व जन्म के विगत कर्मों का फल है जो वो उस समय भोग रहा है।
And if we face some good situations, good situations, then we should explain ourselves that it is Krishna's mercy.
यदि कोई अनुकूल परिस्थिति होती है तो हमें समझना चाहिए कि ये भगवान की दया है हम पर.
Materialistic people, they think in opposite way. When the situation is good, then they think that it is because of their endeavors. And when situation is bad, then maybe it is because of other people, or maybe it is because of Supreme Lord who doesn't control everything. At least he doesn't want, I don't know why, but he doesn't want to control my situation, and he doesn't want to put me in good situation. That's why he is it is his fault that I'm in bad situation. It is how materialistic people think about it.
इसके अतिरिक्त जो भौतिकतावादी लोग होते हैं वे ये बात मानकर चलते हैं कि यदि मेरे जीवन में कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है तो वो मेरे अथक प्रयास से हो रहा है, मैं ही उसके लिए सोल रिस्पॉन्सिबल हूँ. और यदि उनके लाइफ में कुछ बुरा हो जाता है तो वे सीधा प्रत्यारोपण करने लगते हैं कि भगवान से ये चीज़ बर्दाश्त नहीं हुई और उन्होंने मेरे को ये संकट में डाल दिया. सो बेसिकली वो ब्लेम करने लगते हैं भगवान के ऊपर जब कुछ उनके जीवन में गलत होने लगता है.
So this we will conclude it by saying that it is not so easy to understand Supreme Lord Shri Krishna without his bona fide representative spiritual master.
सो अंतोदगत्वा कंक्लूजन में ये है कि प्रभु जी, सॉरी, कैन यू रिपीट दैट द लास्ट पोर्शन?
I'm saying that it is impossible to understand or to revive these relationships with Krishna without help of bona fide, means authoritative representative of Shri Krishna, means spiritual master.
सो अगर हम चाहते हैं कि हम अपने संबंध को पुनः स्थापित करें भगवान के साथ और इस स्पिरिचुअल गाइडेंस अगर हमें लेनी है तो फिर उसके लिए हमें हमारे लाइफ में हमारे स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर्स होने चाहिए जो हमें सही गाइड कर सकें, सो दैट हम हमारा जो लॉस्ट रिलेशनशिप है उसको वापस से रीइन्वोक कर सकें.
Because one can approach Supreme Lord Shri Krishna only if Supreme Lord Shri Krishna wants him to approach him. If he allows him to approach him, then it is possible.
यदि कोई व्यक्ति खुद से भगवान की ओर जाना चाहता है तो वो भगवान की यदि इच्छा है तो वह आसानी से भगवान तक पहुंच सकता है, भगवान उसे रास्ता दिखाएंगे.
So when Supreme Lord Krishna, he sees that, oh, this person, he accepted shelter of my authoritative representative, of my bona fide representative. Okay, it means this person is serious. Let me allow him to become closer to me.
जब कोई व्यक्ति अपने प्रश्नों का समाधान के लिए भगवान के पास जाता है या फिर भगवान के ऑथोरिटेटिव जो कहना चाहिए कि हमारे जो गुरुजन होते हैं उनके पास जब वो जाता है, जब उनके शेल्टर में जाता है तो भगवान को लगता है कि ठीक है, ये काफ़ी सीरियस है और इसके प्रश्न का उत्तर ढूंढने में भगवान उसकी सहायता करते हैं.
Krishna is situated in the heart of each and every living entity, so he never can be cheated.
भगवान जो हैं वो सभी के हृदय में स्थित हैं, सो भगवान कभी भी चीट नहीं किए जा सकते.
Hare Krishna, thank you for being with us, and Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this wonderful lecture. Hare Krishna to each and
Hare
every devotee.
Krishna.
Now let's chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra once. Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Okay.
Prabhuji, I just want to know that do we have that enough time that we can take some questions
Yes,
from
I
the
have a
devotees?
lot of time and a lot of enthusiasm to answer on the questions.
Okay, so
Okay.
do we want the transliteration or will that be okay to communicate in English?
Up to the audience.
Okay.
It
Is there any
depends.
co-host
It
in the
depends
meeting?
on what are your traditions. What are your traditions?
Yeah. Okay. Prabhuji,
Uh-huh.
the co-host, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Rama. So what should we do?
Prabhuji,
I'm ready to
translate.
answer
I
the
do not have
questions.
any problem. Just
Tejaswini
someone is
Gupta is
posting
asking.
in the
Tejaswini Gupta. I can read if you like.
Tejaswini Mata is asking. Yeah.
And we also, Sarthak Soni Prabhuji, you just pay attention that we have two people who raised their hands. It is here on the screen. I will read this question from chat, and then we will take questions from devotees who raised your hands. Don't put your hands. We will answer on your. Don't put your hands. We will answer on your questions. If we are not good preachers, then will Krishna not be pleased with us? Everyone around me is inimical towards Krishna consciousness, and I fear to preach to them. And also I feel that I'm also not a good convincer. So will Krishna not accept me because I'm not preaching? Sarthak Soni Prabhu, would you like to translate it in Hindi if it is needed?
Yeah, just a second. I'll just read the question which he has posted in the chat box. If you're not good preachers, then will Krishna not be pleased with us? So she says that यदि हम अच्छे प्रचारक नहीं हैं तो क्या कृष्ण हमारे से प्रसन्न नहीं होंगे? Everyone around me is inimical towards Krishna consciousness, and I fear to preach with them. I also feel the same situation with me oftentimes, but I do try my level best to reach out to the maximum people as I can. So काफी लोग ऐसे हैं जो जितने उन्मुख नहीं रहते हैं कि हम उन्हें कृष्णा कॉन्शियस का प्रचार कर सकें, और हमें काफी डर लगता है जब उनसे इस बारे में बात करते हैं, तो क्योंकि आपको ऐसा लगता है कि आप एक अच्छे कन्विंसर नहीं हैं, तो क्या कृष्णा आपको एक्सेप्ट करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि आप अपनी प्रीचिंग नहीं कर पा रही हैं? तो आपका प्रश्न ये है, राइट?
Right. Okay, so first of all, we should. Oh, one more question from Vimla. Okay. Okay, first we will answer on Tejaswini Gupta's question. First of all, we should understand that there are some, there are 10 offenses of the holy name. 10 offenses of the holy name.
Just a second, Prabhuji. I was talking to Prabhuji, who is the co-host. Yeah. Tejaswini Mataji, would you like to unmute yourself or to turn on your camera, if is it possible for you? Hello, Hare Krishna.
If it is possible, if you want, we are not forcing anyone.
Yeah. Tejaswini Mataji, do you want the transliteration, or will that be okay for you if Prabhuji answers it in English? Prabhuji, can we get a quick response, Mataji? English. Okay, so Prabhuji will be okay. English is comfortable.
English is okay. So
Prabhuji, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Sir, can I say something? Sir, can I say something?
Yes, of course. Please tell. Please say.
Yeah.
Sir, my English is weak, so you have to understand me. Okay.
No worry, Mataji. I'll try to
Okay.
be in the conversation. Yeah.
I will speak in Hindi and as well as English also.
But we didn't answer on the first question, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe you just wait a little bit. First, we will answer on that question, okay?
Okay.
Not a problem.
Can I speak, sir?
It depends on what you want to tell. If it is related to this question, yes, please.
Okay. Sir, in Hindi, I will say, मन को कंट्रोल करना और मन को मारना, इन दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या है? What is the difference between mind controlling or suppress our mind?
Good question.
Mataji, your question is not in the correlation with the one which has been asked prior before this. So I want you to wait. Will that be okay?
Okay. Yeah. No problem.
Okay.
Okay.
First,
Prabhuji, you answer the first question. Yeah.
Okay. Mataji Vimla, you just mute your mic because we get some noise from. We can get some noise from your side. So first of all, we should understand it will be the answer on the question of Tejaswini Gupta Mataji. It will be given in English only, right? So first of all, we should understand that we have this so-called 10 offenses of the holy name. And there is offense number 9. And this offense is about that we should not preach to those who will not appreciate this spiritual knowledge. We should not preach to non-believers, and we should not, it means we should not, not exactly we should not preach, we should not give confidential aspects of spiritual knowledge, we should not reveal it to those who are non-believers and to those who don't want to hear about this and to those who will not appreciate it. That's why the best way in the preaching activities, especially if we deal with those who don't want to hear philosophy, the best way is to give them prasadam, to give them Bhagavad prasadam. And it is also preaching, because people, they can feel that if we give them prasadam, it means we take care of them. And when they feel it, they can be more, how to say, they can become more, I forgot this word in English. I can open the dictionary. Anyway, they will be ready to get more from us. I would say like this: to get more, including philosophy, including anything, and so on. It means, first of all, this empathy should be there. So preaching, it is not just about to convince people. It is the main idea. Tejaswini Gupta Mataji. Preaching, it is not only about convincing people. Mainly, it is about to set good example, because to some people we are we can be authorities. To some people we never can be authority. But anyway, good example is always appreciated. Maybe people, they will not tell anything that yes, we appreciate your behavior and so on, but anyway it will be appreciated. So and you are asking, will Krishna be pleased with me? Will he accept me, or he will not accept me? Will Krishna not accept me because I'm not preaching? So again, preaching, it is not only about to convince, it is also about different other aspects of devotional service. We can give prasadam to other people, we can behave ourselves nicely, we can chant our rounds of holy name nicely, which is the main instruction of the spiritual master. And in that way, just by chanting good rounds, we also set good example. So preaching, it is not just about to speak about spiritual philosophy and to convince other people, but it is much more wide definition, It is this ability to convince. Also, it depends on our guna karma. Some people are able to convince, some people are not so able to convince. Of course, when we surrender to Supreme Lord, He can give us some abilities. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim, and so on. He can give some abilities to us to do something that we were not able to do previously. But anyway, we just deal with what we have. If we can cook nicely, we cook nicely. If we can convince nicely, then we convince nicely. Just what we have. Again, it is Yukta Vairagya. With what we can do, we do this for Krishna. It is our way to reestablish our relationships with Him. And how to become good devotee being a grihastha, and how to control mind, and what is the difference between mind control and suppression of mind. Sarthak Suni Prabhu, should I answer on this, or we strictly follow that way?
We'll take the questions one by one. I just want to ask Tejaswini Mataji that the answer which you gave, was this satisfying for her or not? Jasi Mataji, was the answer acceptable to you?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I was very happy to serve you. Hare Krishna. So,
Hare Krishna,
how to
Mataji.
become a good...
Now, Prabhuji,
Yeah.
we can take the question of Vimla Mataji. So, did you got the question, Prabhuji, or shall I
Yeah,
transliterate it?
the question was what the difference between mind control and separation of mind, right? Should we
Yeah.
translate it in Hindi, question and answer? Should we do it?
Prabhuji, it's self-explanatory in Hindi, but if you want, I can tell that. कि माता जी wants to know, माता जी जानना चाहती हैं कि मन मारना क्या होता है और मन को वश में करना क्या होता है, दोनों में डिफरेंस है तो है क्या?
So the answer is in the Nectar of Instruction book, verse number 1.
Yeah, Vacho Vika Bansu, yeah, text 1.
So in this text number 1, it is written that one cannot create emptiness in his mind, and the mind always generates some thoughts.
Prabhuji, I think Mataji requires the transliteration, I suppose. She mentioned in
No,
Then-
sir.
the...
I understand. I understand, sir.
You understand? Okay. Then
Okay,
we will
Mataji,
go.
if you do not get anything, then you can let me know. I'll try to help you out.
Okay, so in this book, Nectar of Instruction, verse number 1, it is written that these attempts that usually Mayavadis do, impersonalists do, they try to make their consciousness, their mind empty. It is their way to control their minds. But it is not possible to keep mind empty always. It is not possible. Because mind is always generates different thoughts, and moreover, if we live in society with other people and so on, it is not practical to live with empty head. It is not practical because we have to deal with them. We have to discuss some things, some issues, and solve some problems and so on. It is not practical and it is not possible. So the way is to think of Krishna. The way is to, when we, for example, when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we chant our rounds, it is the most important. What is most important is that we just should try to listen what we are repeating, what we are chanting. So we chant our japa. It can take 2 hours or maybe 3 hours. It depends on speed. And during this period of time, what we should do, we should try to make our mind attentive to these sounds. Of course, there is a verse, Smartavyach Satatam Vishnur, Vismartavyach Najatuchit, and in this verse it is said that one should always remember Krishna and never forget him. It means basically that we should always think about Krishna, but in practical life, in our day-to-day life, we can see that we have to deal with different aspects of our life, and it is not possible to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra always, at least at our stage, at our level of spiritual life, which is called regulated devotional service or Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So the idea is to be attentive when we chant, and the idea is that when we deal with different situations in our life, we should try to understand how it is related to Krishna. My relatives are related to Krishna. My job is related to Krishna. Mana sadeho geho eikinchho more, and so on. It is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's bhajan. Everything belongs to you, my dear Lord. This wife is not my wife. It is your jiva, and this house is not my house, and you are proprietor and I'm just dog who guards this house and so on and so on. So to suppress mind, it means what? Mind generates some thoughts, and we try to suppress it. We try to imitate these thoughts don't exist, but it exists. So what to do? For example, we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and some thoughts about, I don't know, about relatives or about political situation or whatever comes in our mind. So what we can do, we can try to suppress these thoughts. We can try to force these thoughts to come out from our mind, but in that way we just spend our energy when we try to fight with these thoughts. It means when we are trying to fight with these thoughts, we're not attentive in our chanting, because our attention goes to these thoughts. So what is the way to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? Each and every time when we are distracted, we should try to pull our attention back to the sounds of holy names. And at the same time, when some strange thoughts come, then we should not just pay attention on these thoughts. The approach is that it comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. Let it go by itself. Let it go by itself, and we will be just chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When one tries to suppress himself, usually it works like, I have to find this word in the dictionary. It works like, one moment, just wait 1 second. When we try to suppress our thoughts, it works like a spring, We try to pull the spring and then it goes back. We try to pull this string, it goes back. So if we have some urges in our consciousness, some itching in our consciousness, the idea is not just to suppress. The idea is to understand from philosophical point of view, with the help of our seniors, our counselors, and so on, to understand what is going on with me. What is going on? What is the nature of this condition of my consciousness, of my mind? What are the reasons, and what should I do with myself? Not just to suppress. One can suppress his doubts in spiritual life. For example, I'm not sure about this, I'm not sure about that, but I will suppress it. I will not pay attention on this, and I will go on with my spiritual life without paying attention on this, but it doesn't work. Moreover, His Holiness Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he says that it works like cancer. If we are not about to get rid from our doubts, these doubts, we accumulate these doubts, and after some time our spiritual life can be ruined. So like we go to a hospital, to doctor when we get some disease, the same way, if we have some doubts, or we are in some or our mind is in the condition like we have to in some condition when we feel that something wrong goes on and we feel like it should be suppressed, the better way is to approach the counselor, is to approach the senior and to ask, what is going on with me? What is going on with me? My condition is such and such, and I'm thinking about this and about that, and my desires are like this. What should I do with myself? It is the best way to understand, because there are some reasons why there are some urges or some tendencies in the consciousness that one tries automatically to suppress, and it looks like it is simplest way to suppress, but it is not simplest way, because it will create problems in the future. Hare Krishna. Okay. Yeah.
Mataji, was the answer satisfying that
Thank you,
Prabhuji
sir.
gave to you?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And I am very happy to have meet with you. And I have a brilliant experience with you, sir.
Hare Krishna Mataji Vimla.
Hare
Hare
Krishna and
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
sir.
Krishna. And Amit Kumar Mahasetх, he asks, we have got his question in the chat about how to
Yeah,
become
Prabhuji.
Grihastha, good Grihastha. Okay, should I read it?
Prabhuji, just a second. Let me ask
Uh-huh.
him.
Okay.
Amit Kumar Prabhuji, would you like the transliteration, or will that be okay that Prabhuji gives answers in English?
Yes, Prabhuji, it will be okay for me.
Okay, Prabhuji, fine. Prabhuji, you can read the question and you can answer directly in English.
So Hindi translation is not needed. Okay. How
Yeah.
to become a good devotee being a grihastha if other family members, especially wife, is not a devotee? It is typical situation, not just in India, in any country we face this situation. Should I continue reading scriptures, doing preaching, etc., or should I work for wife and other family members' happiness? Well, if one has a family, he has to work, but the idea is to work just to perform the duty of a grihastha and not just to make wife and other family members happy. It is the difference between grihastha mentality and grihamedha mentality. Grihamedha mentality is happy when his wife is happy and family members are happy, and it is the highest happiness for him, for grihamedha. So he is not about to make Krishna happy, and grihastha is about to make Krishna happy. And if other family members are also with them, if they want to make Krishna happy, then it is good grihastha ashram. Otherwise, if wife is not a devotee and other family members are not a devotee, and you alone, you joined Krishna consciousness, like it usually takes place, like there is a family, which is just ordinary family, and just one person from them joins Krishna consciousness, and that's all. And other relatives, they don't follow his or her example. Well, anyway, one should continue reading scriptures and preaching, etc., and so on and so on. But at the same way, if one is householder, is grihastha, then he has a duty. He has this dharma to maintain family, and it means basically to earn money by working on job or by doing business or whatever. Of course, it should be legal way of earning money, legal way. So it is the one level of grihastha dharma, but it is not the whole grihastha dharma. Another part of this dharma is to help family members to become closer to Krishna. So if they are not so friendly to Krishna consciousness, at least you can give them prasadam. And in that way, this family life will get some spiritual, will have some spiritual aspect, and family members also will get some spiritual nourishment. So this dharma of householder of grihastha is not just to earn money for family members, but also to benefit them in spiritual sense. And of course, one should continue reading scriptures and doing preaching and so on, because otherwise, if he is not in good spiritual condition, how he will help his family members to reach some spiritual state of consciousness, some spiritual condition? First, we should, first save yourself, and then others will be saved around you. Like it is Christians, they say something like this. So of course it is, but anyway, if they don't accept anything, even if they don't accept prasadam, if they don't follow anything, but at least they allow you to practice Krishna consciousness. Just if they allow you to practice Krishna consciousness, it means that they are very merciful to you, because in Kali Yuga, not to create impediments, it is also a kind of help. In Kali Yuga, one can help other people in different ways, and one of the ways is just not to create impediments. If they don't create impediments, if they allow you to progress spiritually, then it is good. And if they can accept prasadam, it is good. If they can listen to some philosophy, it is also good. It depends on their readiness, what they are ready to accept from you. And moreover, because they are our family members, it means that likely we are not a big authority for them, but if we will be able to show them some good spiritual authorities from ISKCON, if they are not against spiritual organizations, ISKCON and so on, if we can show them some people, some devotees who they will be able to accept like authorities, because it is not for sure likely they will not accept us like an authority. Like we have this proverb in Russia. We have this proverb in Russia that the meaning of this proverb is that seniors cannot take instructions from juniors. Juniors, they don't teach seniors. And this proverb sounds like chicken is not teached by its eggs. Chicken is not teached by its eggs. Sarthak Soni Prabhu, are you getting the point, this proverb? Is it clear? There is a chicken.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
There is a
Actually,
chicken.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a chicken.
Actually,
There
Prabhuji,
are
I was.
eggs.
Actually, I was reading one question which Vimla Mataji posted. So I'm sorry, I was not paying attention. It was my fault. I'm sorry.
So did you understand this proverb about chicken and eggs?
A bit.
A little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
At least if Amit Kumar Prabhu will understand, it is good. So it means we before joining ISKCON, we already were in some kind of relationships with our relatives, with our family members. So we cannot claim that now, just by joining ISKCON, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, now we will be spiritual authority in our family. It is not so. It is not so. It can take years and decades. After some reasonable period of time, maybe we will become an authority for someone in our family. Maybe yes, maybe no, we don't know. But the main idea is to follow, at least we ourselves, we should follow this path. Okay, Amit Kumar Mahasetх Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, is he in the meeting? Amit
Yes,
Kumar
he is
Prabhuji?
here. He's here. Does it answer on your question?
Prabhuji, was the answer satisfying? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Amit Kumar Prabhuji, can you hear me? Hare Krishna, Amit Kumar Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Hari Bol.
You can also respond in chat box.
Okay, he will answer later.
Yeah, okay, Prabhuji.
Sneha Yadav is asking.
Vimla Mataji had one another question. So do you want me to pick that question right now, or shall we take Sneha Mataji's question? Which one would you like to go?
Up to you. Up to you. Anyway, we would cover both questions.
Okay, so I think We can take Sneha Mataji's question first because she was waiting. So, can you read that in the chat box, or do you want me to read?
You read, please.
Yeah, okay. So Prabhuji, Sneha Mataji says that Hare Krishna, sometimes we judge people very easily. So how to overcome with such habits, and what should we think about that time?
What should we think about that time?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, there is a need to understand who are people who are around us. So it is natural to when we try to understand who is who. But this position of a judge, who is good, who is bad, this person is good, this person is bad. It is called generalization. Generalization. It is not concrete. We can say, for example, this particular person behaves in that way or in this way. But when we generalize, when we say that this person is good or bad, it is not correct. Would be much more better to think in that way, that with this person I'm able to deal with, and that person I'm not able to deal with. And because who is good and who is bad, only Supreme Lord Shri Krishna knows who is good, who is bad. These categories are absolute categories, only absolute truth. Shri Krishna knows who is good and who is bad, and the same person whom we consider to be not a nice person, maybe he or she after some time will show some nice will manifest some good qualities, and some people who we consider to be good people will show some bad sides of their personalities. So the main idea is to be practical, with whom I can deal and with whom I'm not able to deal. And the reality is that each and every of us, the reality is that we are not able to deal with everyone and anyone because guna karma is different. So it is the main idea to find people of the same mentality. It is called svajatiya. Svajatiya. Srila Rupa Goswami uses this term svajatiya. It means the same mentality, friendship in Krishna consciousness, or whatever friendship we were speaking about. The friendship is possible if there is a svajatiya. Svajatiya means similar mentality. It means, and it creates an ability for people to understand each other. Okay, sometimes we judge people very easily. How to overcome with such habits? What should we think about that time? Well, the idea is that it takes time to understand who is who. Again, for example, real relationships, real friendship, it is something which is tested through years or maybe decades. And during this period of time, people, they are able to understand each other from different sides. So that's why we cannot, how to say, we cannot take any final decision who is who, because it takes time to understand who is who. And moreover, we should give people chance to show their good qualities, because there is a law which you can find in these psychological books, the law of the first impression. Maybe you read these books about how it is recommended to behave with other people, and there is a law, the law of first impression, that, for example, some people, they see you first time, and the first 35 or 40 seconds, it is the most important time. It means that during this period of time, you by how confident you are, how you behave, and so on and so on, you create some impression on other people, and usually people, they become like slaves of this first impression. It is because of the influence of Kali Yuga, it is typical that people are quite superficial in their judgments of other people. So it is quite easy just to it is much more simpler just to observe a person just for 1 minute and to have some judgment that this person is like this person is like that. It is mentality, materialistic mentality of Kali Yuga, that people usually they are mainly concentrated on themselves and on their own needs and interests, and not so much interested in other people. That's why how we behave in first really 35 or 40 seconds with other people, it really creates an impression. And again, it is a tendency, and we are bhakti practitioners, and we should not be in this tendency. We're special, huh? We're special. We should not be superficial, huh? We should not be superficial. Devotees, they should not be superficial. It is when we are trying to follow this bhakti mark, this path of devotional service, these things, how to chant Hare Krishna, how to perform devotional service, how to behave with devotees, and so on and so on. All these subject matters are not are very deep, really, are very deep. And time goes, and we can get more and more realizations of how it works and how to behave. That's why, well, the advice will be that when we feel like we already understood everything about this or that particular person, would be nice to tell to oneself, to tell that let's wait, time will show. Maybe after some time, person will show himself from another side. But by this moment or by that moment, I'm able or I'm not able to deal with this particular person. Able in the sense to cooperate in devotional service, if we are speaking about spiritual life. If we are speaking about some mundane activities, some jobs and so on, then also the same idea. Am I able to cooperate with them, or I'm not able to cooperate with them? And if we are telling about our inability to deal with another person, then the question raises, what is the reason that I am not able to deal with another person? And the simplest way to say is to tell that it is only because of him, because I'm nice person, and it is the only because of him or because of her I'm not able to deal with them. But the reality is that the reason why people are not able to deal with each other, usually these reasons are on the both sides. The both sides means there is a reason with the person with whom I cannot deal, and there is a reason in myself. And anyway, we can go on in our spiritual life. We can preach, we can chant Hare Krishna, and so on and so on. And after some time, maybe the situation will be changed. And in Nectar of Instruction, it is written what should we do in order to improve this situation. Дадати пратигрих нати, гухьяма кяти причхати, пункте буджете чайва шадвидга притилакшанам. It is regarding relationships with devotees. One should distribute prasadam, take prasadam, give some gifts and accept gifts, and discuss spiritual issues. And in that way, people, they can become closer to each other, and they will be able to understand their they will be able to understand each other, and especially if we're speaking about spiritual life, if we're speaking about spiritual relationships, it will help people to understand each other better. And it means that if people understand each other better and they accept each other, which is also really important, then it is there is a chance to have better relationships based on Krishna consciousness. One can accept another person as he is or as she is, and after this, also it can be so that we understood this person better, and we accepted this person better in our heart, but at the same time still there is no ability to deal with, for example, in some business affairs and so on, because of lacking of qualities from my side or from his side. Anyway, let it go like it goes, because if we're speaking about Vaishnava society, anyway, if we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if we practice, it makes us better. And anyway, we are on the right path in this life, which is the most important.
Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Sneha
Hare
Yadav
Krishna, Prabhuji,
Prabhu.
can you hear me?
He wrote, thank you,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. He wrote.
yeah, okay, Prabhuji. So is there Vimla Mataji still in the meeting? Okay, she is there. Yeah. Prabhuji, do I have the permission to share one of my realization? Because the
Of
question
course.
was Sneha Mataji, I'll just take 2 to 3 minutes, not much more
Yes,
than
of
that.
course, it will be
So
very
the question
interesting.
which,
Let's do it.
okay.
Uh-huh.
The question which Sneha Mataji asked was also relevant to me. Mataji do have the permission, right? I can share my realization and also the tips that I prefer that while not to judge others. So Mataji, we know that being human, we have this proclivity to oftentimes judge people on based on their actions or what, but we do not stick to that point that what made him do that. So long story short, I would say that if you are well acquainted with the spiritual knowledge, so first thing, the first question that you have to ask yourself is that, do I have the authority to judge the other person, whatever he does to me or to any other person? Do I have that authority to judge him? Because when you have the transcendental knowledge of that spirit, that you are also spirit, he is also spirit, he is also part and parcel of the supreme lord Sri Hari, and I'm also the part and parcel of Sri Hari, and it is all these material modes of nature who are, it's working, and uh, it is only the sole responsible thing that he or she might be doing. So I think we should give constant that indication to our mind to not to become very judgmental, because we are also not on the perfect stage that we are always in the mode of pure goodness. Sometimes we are dealing in the mode of passion, and sometimes we are dealing in the mode of ignorance. So we need to balance all these things, and at the same time also we also need to take that initiative that it is a problem because it is a habit. Because when we hear something, we become judgmental. When we see something doing something, then also we become judgmental. So that also reminds me of the second chapter where Krishna says that uh, that verse chapter 2 text 62, where he says that lust also becomes, now lust has also meaning of kaam has also meaning for lust, and kaam has also meaning in Sanskrit for desires. So I think that we need to keep those things in mind, that it's very human nature that we begin to judge everything. And also, if you have heard Gaur Gopal Prabhu in his book Life's Amazing Secret, he also tells about there are four kinds of people who have this proclivity, that there are four classes of people, and the first class of people are those who only think bad about everyone. And second class of people are those who are mixed. They also see good and they also see bad in you, but also they just keep on thinking that why this person is carrying bad in themselves. And there are third class of people who also know that there are good and bad, but they focus on the good of you, good about you. They neglect the bad things which you imbibe in your consciousness or whatever it may be. And there are fourth class of people who only see good and good in you, and it's very rare, and it's only God or the highly elevated souls who can reach up to that level. So we must always try to be on that level number 4. Most of us are on the level of 2 or 3, but we should always try that we can go up to the level of 4, so that at least we can be at the level of 3. So that's what my realization is, and that is what the tip I would like to suggest to everyone, that I also prefer doing my bhakti process as well. Because when I go to the college, in my college, I also met different sorts of people who are interested to hear the Hari Katha, to know the secrets of Bhagavad Gita, and to about our Sanatan Dharma. So they sometimes get rage. So at that time, we need to keep all our senses under our control. That's what I want to say. Yeah, I think that will be helpful to everyone. And if I made a mistake, I beg forgiveness. I'm sorry.
No mistake, no mistake. Thank you very much. Seems to be that we have to finish, right?
Prabhuji, Vimla Mataji had her question.
Okay, let's
So
answer
do you
on the
want to
question.
take that?
Okay, but
Yeah.
where is the
So,
question? In the chat or where it is?
she has written the chat and she asked me to translate it. So I'll translate it in English.
Okay.
Just a second, I'm just finding the chat where she, yeah. So Prabhuji, just let me read that chat once again, then I'll translate it.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, before
Sorry,
question
please.
were revealed, I want to say something. Sir, I'm really sorry because my English is very weak, and if any word I have taken mistakenly, so I'm very sorry for that, sir.
Your English is good. It is 100% understandable.
I'm
That's what
saying,
I
sir,
replied to. Even mine is not good.
I'm saying, sir, that my English is weak. So if any word, any kind of word I have taken, so I'm really sorry for that, sir. I'm really sorry. Uh,
I'm not getting
Yeah,
what you should be sorry about. Everything is okay.
Prabhuji, I'll read
and
the question.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
just
okay, okay,
let's
say
sir.
read the
something, Mataji.
question.
Yeah. So she asked that oftentimes we see that relationship gets broken.
Mhm.
So she just wants to know that measure, that how do we get that strength so that we may accept that fact that we have been in a relationship and that is broken, and that relationship could be of uh, any kind, Prabhuji. So she just wants to know the measure, that how to get that strength,
Strength for
that
what?
she has been in a relation. No, she just wants to know that how to get the strength
Strength.
to accept that fact that, yeah, to accept that
Ah,
fact that she was in a relationship, she was in a kind of relationship, but
uh-huh.
it has been broken due to some factor.
Ah, the main relation.
Yeah.
Should we answer with Hindi translation or not?
Vimla Mataji, do you need Hindi translation, or will that be okay if Prabhuji answers in English?
No problem. I will understand English also.
Okay,
No
good,
problem.
good. The main, what we were speaking about today, the main relationships that we have.
Sir,
Yeah,
sir, today is the topic of improving relationship with Krishna, right?
yeah,
If
yes.
we have done wrong, right,
Uh-huh.
in life, if we have done wrong, so how get we get strength to correct our mistake, to repent our mistake? How get we strength? How can we get strength that to improve our relationship?
Uh-huh. To get to do wrong means exactly what? Can you give an example?
Even I was also going to ask the question,
Yeah,
same, because I also didn't
an
find the
example.
context.
What do you mean by saying that something is done wrong? What do you mean?
Sir, in my past, I have did many mistakes. I have did so many. I mean, cheated also. I mean, I've did so many mistakes. So that is why
Uh-huh.
I'm asking. How I can repent my mistake? How can I get strength to repent my mistakes?
Okay, we should just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
That's
Rama, Hare
only
Rama,
medicine.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'm not joking.
Hare.
It helps because, well, if you're speaking about some activities that create vikarma, sinful reactions, then the best remedy is holy name of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. It is one of the points, and there is nothing better in Kali Yuga, in the age of Kali. So it is the answer. And also, past is past. Past is past. What is done is done. So it means that we should not torture ourselves too much with these thoughts, what we did in the past. It is one side, but at the same time, if we are thinking about our mistakes, the main mistake is that we left Krishna. Left Krishna, we came in this material world from spiritual world. So we could create a lot of mistakes in our life and previous lives, and we could lament about these mistakes, but the main mistake we should lament about is that we are separated by our own will, separated with Krishna. And if we will open some bhajanas created by our acharyas or Bhaktivinoda Thakura's book, Sharanagati and so on, we can see that this lamentation is expressed. So it is the main thing that we should lament about. If to speak about some day-to-day mistakes, day-to-day faults, if we can rectify it, if we, for example, if we should beg for forgiveness before someone, then just we should go to this person and beg to forgiveness, or we should do something else in order to rectify some mistakes. Like, for example, Jagai and Madhai were instructed by Nityananda Prabhu after they took initiation from Nityananda Prabhu, I think, right? They took initiation from Nityananda Prabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu, he gave Jagai and Madhai instruction to make a ghat in this sacred place and to serve these people who were doing pilgrimage to this place, to wash their feet and so on and so on. And because these people, they knew that Jagai and Madhai were criminals and rascals, so these people who came for pilgrimage, they also sometimes, or maybe not sometimes, maybe quite often, they were beating this Jagai and Madhai, but Jagai and Madhai just expressed gratitude that beat us more, beat us more because we deserve it, and so on and so on. I don't know. There are some measures in some cases, like, for example, we did something wrong, and we can just think what should we do in order to rectify it. But anyway, we have a lot of previous lives, and of course, we don't remember what took place in previous lives. So the main remedy is to chant, to take shelter in holy name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What we can rectify, we rectify. What we cannot rectify, we just rely on Krishna, and he will rectify it or forgive, or he will forgive us, or whatever. So it is the path of Sharanagati.
So does that answers your question, Milna Mataji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama.
Okay.
Krishna, sir. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Okay.
Now, Prabhuji, I think we should conclude now because there are no
Right.
further questions.
Right. A lot of time.
So
A lot
I
of
just
time.
want to thank all the devotees
the
who were
plan
present.
the plan was about 2 hours, right? And we did 3 hours.
But we extended to
Extended. By your mercy,
spiritual ecstasy.
by your mercy, Sarthak Soni Prabhu. By your mercy.
No, Prabhuji. I don't
Okay.
think so. So at last, I just want to say that I just want to thank all the devotees to take out their valuable time and to be present in this meeting and to lend your ears to hear Hari Katha and to hear our honorable speaker, His Grace Madhava Murari Prabhuji. Now, personally speaking, Prabhuji, it was my first experience to do this transliteration part, to do the service to Krishna. So I just want to say two lines, three lines, sentences. I just want to say that if out of the context I went somewhere and was, I was, if I think I was not able to do proper transliteration, so I beg forgiveness from you, Prabhuji, and all the devotees who were present in the meeting. If they think that I had not translated or I have missed that essence that Prabhuji had delivered in this session, so I truly beg forgiveness, and I want you people to pray for me so that I can do whatever service granted to me with all the. I'll try to be perfect, if not so.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. So we'll and yeah, she says, Hari Bol, thank you very much, Prabhuji, for such a nice session. Thank you for giving us. Yeah. And Prabhuji,
Thank you
thank
too.
you so much for your.
Thank you too.
I just tried my level best, Prabhuji. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji.
So
So
how we will conclude it? What should we tell? What is
Prabhuji, we'll end up with the
the
meeting.
rule?
We'll end up with the meeting, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, friends, for
very
being
much,
with us.
Prabhuji.
For being with us.
My
And
presence.
next year, the second part of January, February, March, I'm planning to be in Delhi. If Krishna will allow me to do it, maybe we will see each other, or at least some of you. Let's see. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you
Krishna.
very much for taking out your time. Hare Krishna. I'll end up with this meeting. Hare Krishna.